The C-130's engines wound down as I stepped onto American soil for the first time in 7 months. Fort Bragg's tarmac had never looked so beautiful. The August heat hit me like a wall after the air-conditioned cargo hold, but I didn't care. I was home. My shoulder throbbed where the shrapnel had caught me 3 weeks ago. Nothing major, the docs patched me up fine, but it earned me a ticket home 6 months early. $1 million wound, they called it. Not serious enough to end my career, but enough to get me stateside for recovery and rehab. I hadn't told Michelle yet. Wanted it to be a surprise. The processing took forever. Medical evaluations, debriefs, paperwork that seemed designed to keep soldiers from their families. By the time I grabbed my duffel from supply and caught a cab, it was past 1400 hours. 2 p.m. civilian time. "Where to, Sergeant?" the cabbie asked, noting my rank insignia. "Home," I said, giving him my address in Fayetteville. "And step on it." 20 minutes later, we pulled up to my house. Our house. The American dream. White siding, blue shutters, wraparound porch. I'd bought it right before my first deployment, back when Michelle and I were still dating. She'd moved in after the wedding 3 years ago. I paid the cabbie and stood on my lawn, just breathing it in. Mrs. Patterson next door was watering her roses. She did a double take when she saw me. "Marcus? Oh my goodness, you're home early." I put a finger to my lips, grinning. "Surprise visit, Mrs. P. Don't spoil it." She mimed, zipping her lips, eyes twinkling. I liked Mrs. Patterson. Reminded me of my grandmother. Tough as nails, but sweet as pie. I climbed the porch steps, noting the new potted plants Michelle must have added. Sunflowers. She always loved sunflowers. My key still worked. Good sign she hadn't changed the locks while I was gone. Some guys came home to emptied bank accounts and divorce papers. The door opened silently. I set my duffel down in the entryway and listened. Cartoons playing in the living room. Emma must be home from preschool. "Mommy, can I have juice?" My daughter's voice made my heart swell. "In a minute, sweetie. Mommy's not feeling well." Michelle's voice came from the kitchen. She sounded tired. I crept forward, wanting to see Emma's face when the living room door burst open and my 5-year-old daughter stood there, eyes wide as saucers. "Daddy! Daddy's home!" She launched herself at me like a little missile. I caught her, spun her around, her delighted shrieks filling the house. God, I'd missed this. Missed her. "Hey there, princess. Did you miss me?" "So much. Mommy said you wouldn't be home until Christmas, but you're here now. Did you bring me presents? Why didn't you tell us? Are you staying forever?" The questions tumbled out faster than I could answer. I just held her tight, breathing in her strawberry shampoo smell. She'd grown so much in 7 months. Her hair was longer, face a little less baby round. "Where's Mommy?" I asked. "In the kitchen. She's been sick a lot. Throwing up like when Aunt Karen had baby James in her belly." Emma's face lit up. "Mommy, come show Daddy your belly. It's big like Aunt Karen's." The world stopped. I set Emma down slowly, my mind trying to process what she'd just said. Surely I'd misheard. Surely my 5-year-old daughter hadn't just said. Michelle appeared in the kitchen doorway. 4 months pregnant, visibly, undeniably. She stood there in yoga pants and an oversized t-shirt that couldn't hide the obvious bump. Her face went white as printer paper. Her hand instinctively moved to her belly, a protective gesture I remembered from when she was pregnant with Emma. 7 months deployed, 4 months pregnant. The math hit me like an IED. No way to misinterpret. No way to explain it away. My wife was carrying another man's child. "Marcus," she whispered. You're home early." I stood there, Emma bouncing excitedly beside me, completely oblivious to the bomb that had just detonated in our living room. My hands shook. My vision tunneled. 7 months of combat hadn't prepared me for this. "Get inside, Emma," I said quietly. "But Daddy, I want to show you my new—" "Now!" My bark made her jump. She ran inside, scared by the sudden change in my voice. I'd apologize later. Right now, I needed her away from what was about to happen. Michelle stepped back as I moved forward. Marcus, I can explain. Explain! The word exploded out of me. Explain how you're 4 months pregnant when I've been gone 7. I pushed past her into the house. Everything looked the same, but felt different now. Tainted. Our wedding photos on the wall. Lies. My deployment photo on the mantle. A joke. The home I'd fought to come back to. A facade. Who is he? My voice was deadly quiet now. The calm before the storm. Marcus, please, let's sit down and talk. Who is? He? She flinched. It's complicated. I laughed, harsh and bitter. Complicated? No, Michelle. Combat is complicated. IEDs are complicated. This is simple. You let another man... I couldn't even finish the sentence with Emma in the next room. I grabbed her phone from the counter. Password! Now! You can't just go through my password or I start breaking things. She gave it, hands trembling. Marcus, please? I ignored her, scrolling through texts. It didn't take long to find them. The contact name made my blood run cold. Jake Coleman, my best friend since boot camp. My daughter's Uncle Jake. The messages were all there. Months of them. Can't wait to feel our baby kick. Miss you in my bed. When Mark deploys again, we can be together. Last night was incredible. Love you. I threw the phone through the kitchen window. Glass exploded outward, the crash echoing through the neighborhood. Jake! I roared. My brother Jake? Michelle was crying now, mascara running. It just happened? Just happened? I flipped the coffee table. Magazines and remotes scattered. Nothing just happens. You made a choice. Every time you... I bit off the words, hearing Emma crying upstairs. For how long? Please, you're scaring Emma. How long? 3 months after you left, she sobbed. 3 months. I'd been gone 3 months, and she was already in bed with my best friend. While I was sleeping in the dirt, eating MREs, dodging bullets, she was here playing house with Jake. I laughed again, dark and violent. 3 months. I'm getting shot at and you're... I couldn't say it. Not with Emma in the house. I pulled out my phone, found Jake's number, put it on speaker. Mark, holy shit, you're back! How... I'm looking at my pregnant wife, Jake. Want to explain? Silence. Long, damning silence. Answer me, you son of a bitch! The line went dead. 20 years, I said to the disconnected phone. 20 years of friendship. Since basic, he was my best man, Michelle. My best man! I'm sorry, she whispered. I'm so sorry. Sorry? I headed for the stairs. Sorry? She followed, begging. Marcus, please, let's talk about this rationally. Rationally? I entered our bedroom, their bedroom now, and started pulling her clothes from the closet. You want rational? Here's rational. You're leaving. Today. Now. Stop! This is my house, too. Not anymore. I threw armfuls of clothes out the window. Dresses, shoes, the lingerie I'd bought her for our anniversary. Every gift I gave you, every memory we made, it's all garbage now. Emma was crying harder in her room. Each sob was a knife in my chest, but I couldn't stop. The rage had taken over, consuming everything. I found her jewelry box, the necklace I'd given her when Emma was born, the earrings from our first anniversary, the bracelet I'd sent from Afghanistan last Christmas. All of it went out the window. My phone rang, Jake calling back. Mark, brother, let me explain. Brother? I spat the word. You're dead to me, and I'm telling Karen right now. No, wait. I hung up, found his wife's number. Karen Coleman, 8 months pregnant with their second child. About to have her world destroyed like mine. Hello? Karen? It's Marcus. I just got home from deployment. Deep breath. Found Michelle 4 months pregnant. It's Jake's. The scream through the phone was inhuman. Primal. The sound of a marriage dying. I'm sorry, I said. You needed to know. I heard crashing on her end, Jake's name being screamed. Then the line went dead. "You didn't have to do that," Michelle said. "Karen's pregnant." "So are you," I roared, "with her husband's baby." I stormed back downstairs. Neighbors had gathered on the lawn, drawn by the commotion. Mrs. Patterson, the Johnsons from across the street, Dave from 2 houses down, all watching clothes rain from my bedroom window. Good. Let them see. Let everyone know what kind of woman Michelle Rivers really was. I went to the garage, found what I was looking for. Jake's things. He'd been comfortable here. Too comfortable. Phone charger in the kitchen, deodorant in the downstairs bathroom. A razor. Men's body wash in my shower. He'd been living in my house, playing daddy to my daughter, sleeping in my bed. I threw it all on the lawn, doused it with lighter fluid from the garage. "Marcus, no!" Michelle ran outside. "Please!" I lit it. Jake's possessions burned while the neighbors watched. Black smoke rising into the summer sky. "Everyone looking?" I addressed the growing crowd. "Good. Michelle Rivers is 4 months pregnant. I've been deployed 7 months. Do the math." Gasps, whispers, phones coming out to record. The father? Jake Coleman, my best friend since boot camp, the man who stood beside me at our wedding, who I named as Emma's godfather. Mrs. Patterson covered her mouth in shock. Dave shook his head in disgust. Michelle tried to salvage some dignity. "You can't do this! This is private." "Private?" I laughed. "You made it public when you brought him into our home, our bed, around our daughter." My phone rang. Mike, my brother, also a Marine stationed at Lejeune. "Mike, I need you at my house. Now, bring Dad." "What's wrong?" "Michelle's pregnant. It's not mine." "I'll be there in 30? Don't do anything stupid." Too late for that. Next call, Tom Harrison, my lawyer, did my will before deployment. "Tom, it's Marcus Rivers. I need divorce papers. Today. I don't care if it's Saturday." "Marcus, what's adultery? She's pregnant. I've been gone 7 months. How fast can we move?" "With military deployment and clear adultery? Very fast. I'll have papers drawn up by Monday." "Good. And Tom? I want everything. The house, full custody, everything." "We'll get it done." Michelle was on the lawn now, trying to pull her clothes away from the burning pile. "You can't just throw me out. I have rights." "Rights?" I turned to face her. "You gave up your rights when you—" I glanced at the windows, knowing Emma was watching. "When you betrayed our family." A car screeched around the corner. Jake's Mustang. He must have driven like hell to get here from his place across town. He jumped out, saw the burning pile, saw Michelle crying, saw me standing there like death incarnate. "Mark, we need to talk." My fist connected before he could finish. Perfect form, all my weight behind it. His nose exploded in a spray of blood as he went down hard. "Get up!" I stood over him. "Get up so I can hit you again!" He stayed down, blood pouring through his fingers. "I'm sorry." I kicked him in the ribs. Felt something give. "Sorry? You were in my house, in my bed, with my wife!" "Marcus, stop!" Michelle screamed. "You'll go to jail." "Worth it." But I stepped back, looked at Jake bleeding on my lawn. "Your wife knows. Your command will know by Monday. Your career is over." Sirens in the distance. Someone must have called the cops. "You took everything," I told Jake. "My wife, my family, my trust. 20 years of friendship for what? For this?" He groaned, trying to sit up. "It wasn't supposed to. To what? To happen? To last? To get her pregnant?" I laughed. "Well, congratulations, Daddy. Hope it was worth it." 2 police cruisers pulled up. Officers approached carefully. I probably looked dangerous. Blood on my knuckles, rage in my eyes. "Sir, we need you to step back." I raised my hands. "I'm Staff Sergeant Marcus Rivers, just returned from Afghanistan. That's Jake Coleman, who got my wife pregnant while I was deployed. I hit him twice. I'll cooperate fully." The cops exchanged glances. One had a high and tight, prior military. Sergeant, we got reports of a disturbance. I threw my wife's belongings out the window and burned items belonging to her affair partner. All my property. No crime committed except hitting him. Jake groaned from the ground. I want to press charges. The veteran cop looked down at him with disgust. Sir, you had sex with a deployed Marine's wife. Got her pregnant. You're lucky he only hit you twice. You sure you want to make this official? Jake's face went pale under the blood. Another car pulled up. Mike's truck, Dad in the passenger seat. Both Marines, both furious. Dad, I said simply, Michelle's pregnant. It's Jake's. My father, Vietnam veteran, Purple Heart recipient, man of few words, looked at Michelle with more contempt than I'd ever seen on his face. In my day, we handled this differently. He spit at her feet. Get out of my son's house. How dare you? How dare you? Mike stepped forward. My brother's fighting for his country and you're spreading your legs for his best friend? Mike! Michelle looked shocked at the crude language. What? That's what you did, isn't it? Or should we use nicer words? Make it sound romantic. Mike's voice dripped sarcasm. Oh wait, can't be too romantic with another woman's husband. More neighbors gathered, the story spreading like wildfire. Michelle realized she was done in this neighborhood, this town. Military communities don't forgive this kind of betrayal. Emma stays with me, I announced. You can leave now or I'll have you removed. She's my daughter. And you had another man around her, playing daddy while I was gone. Teaching her what? That marriage vows don't matter? That loyalty is optional? I turned to the cops. I want a restraining order, today. She's not to come near my daughter without supervision. The veteran cop nodded. We can help with that. Adultery during deployment, exposing a minor to the affair partner, judge won't look kindly on that. Michelle looked around desperately. Jake still on the ground, neighbors filming, her clothes scattered and burning, her life in ruins. Where will I go? Not my problem. Maybe Jake's house. Oh, wait. I smiled coldly. Karen's probably burning his things too. As if on cue, Jake's phone rang. He answered weakly. We all heard Karen's voice, shrill and broken. I'm in labor, you bastard! The stress! I'm going to the hospital and you're not welcome there! Jake tried to get up. I have to go. No, the cop said. You're going to the ER first. Then you can try to see your wife. Good luck with that. An ambulance arrived. As the EMTs loaded Jake, I called out, Hey, Jake, congratulations. You're about to be a father twice over. Hope Michelle was worth losing everything. Marcus, Dad put his hand on my shoulder. Emma? Upstairs, scared, confused. Let me, Mom said. I hadn't even seen her arrive. You boys handle this. I'll take care of my granddaughter. She went inside, and I heard her soothing voice drifting down. Hey, Sweet Pea, Grandma's here. Want to come stay with us for a few days? We'll have ice cream. Mike started picking up the salvageable clothes from the lawn. What's the plan? Divorce? Full custody? She gets nothing. The house? Mine before marriage. Prenup protects it. Dad nodded approvingly. Always told you that prenup was smart. Tom Harrison called back. Marcus, I've got my paralegal working on the papers. Military adultery during deployment. It's open and shut. She'll get standard visitation at best. No alimony, no claim on the house. Good. How soon? I can file Monday. Given the circumstances, we might get an emergency custody order for Emma immediately. Michelle overheard. You can't take my daughter. Watch me, I said. And she's not safe with you. Not when you're bringing strange men around. He's not a strange man. Emma knows Jake. As her uncle, I roared. You let her call him Uncle Jake while you were... I stopped, took a breath. No, we're done here. I turned to the female cop. Can you escort her off my property? Ma'am, the officer said, you need to leave. Get what you can carry and go. Michelle looked at me one last time. I loved you. No, I said simply. You didn't. Love doesn't do this. She gathered what clothes she could and got in her car. As she drove away, Mrs. Patterson approached. Marcus, honey, I'm so sorry. If I'd known, I saw him coming and going, but I thought he was just checking on her while you were gone. How often? I asked, though I didn't really want to know. Few times a week. Sometimes his car was here overnight. I'm sorry, I should have said something. Not your fault, Mrs. P. Michelle made her choices. The crowd started dispersing. The show was over, but the real work was just beginning. Mike and Dad helped me clean up the mess. We boarded up the broken window, threw out the burned pile, straightened the furniture I'd flipped. Mom came down with Emma, who'd calmed down with the promise of a sleepover at Grandma's. Daddy? She looked at me with those big brown eyes. Why was everyone yelling? I knelt down to her level. Sometimes adults make bad choices, Princess. And when that happens, things have to change. Is Mommy coming back? She'll visit, but she won't live here anymore. Because of the baby in her belly? God, kids understood more than we gave them credit for. Yes, sweetheart, because of that. Is it my fault? No. I pulled her close. Never think that. This is not your fault. You're perfect. You're my best girl. Nothing that happened today is because of you. She nodded against my shoulder. Can I still see Uncle Jake? My jaw clenched. No, baby. Jake won't be around anymore. Okay. She pulled back. Can we get a dog? I laughed despite everything. Maybe. We'll see. Mom took Emma to pack a bag. Dad sat with me on the porch. You handled that better than I would have, he said. I wanted to kill him. I know, but you didn't. That's what matters. What now? Now? Now you rebuild. Focus on Emma. Let the lawyers handle Michelle, and don't let this poison you. Too late for that. No, he said firmly. I've seen men let betrayal eat them alive. Don't be one of them. You're better than that. Mike came out with beers. We sat there, 3 Marines on a porch, watching the sunset on the worst day of my life. My phone buzzed. Karen Coleman. It's a boy, 7 pounds 2 ounces. Jake's not welcome at the hospital. Thank you for telling me. I'm sorry about Michelle. I showed Mike and Dad. 2 kids without fathers now, Mike said. Because they couldn't keep it in their pants. Jake made his choice, I said. Now he lives with it. Another text, this one from my commander. Rivers, heard what happened. Take the time you need. We've got your back, semper fi. Word traveled fast in military circles. You should eat, Dad said. Not hungry? Eat anyway. You've got a fight ahead. Need your strength. Mom brought Emma out with her overnight bag. Ready for Grandma's house? Yes. Daddy, will you visit? Every day, Princess. Every single day. They loaded up to leave. I stood to go inside, then stopped. The house felt wrong now, contaminated. Stay with us tonight, Mom said, reading my mind. Come home. Home. Not this house where betrayal lived in the walls, but my childhood home, where loyalty meant something. Yeah, I said. Let me pack a bag. As I gathered my things, I found one of Michelle's pregnancy books on the nightstand. What to expect when you're expecting. She'd had the audacity to read pregnancy books in our bed while carrying another man's child. I threw it in the trash. My phone rang. Unknown number. Hello? Sergeant Rivers? This is Lieutenant Colonel Morrison from Jake's unit. I heard about the situation. I want you to know we take adultery seriously, especially involving deployed service members. Coleman will face UCMJ action. Thank you, sir. Take care of yourself, Marine, and your daughter. Yes, sir. I finished packing, locked up the house, and drove to my parents' place. Emma was already in her pajamas, Mom reading her a story. Dad had made up my old room. Tomorrow we'll start the paperwork, he said. Tom's a good lawyer. He'll get you through this. And Emma? We'll help. All of us. She's got family. I nodded, throat tight. Thanks, Dad. That's what family does. Real family, not like that bastard Jake. I checked my phone one more time before bed. Dozens of messages. Support from my unit. Shock from mutual friends. Nothing from Michelle. Good. The last message was from Jake's brother. Heard what happened. I'm sorry. Jake's an idiot. Take care of yourself. Even his own family knew he was wrong. I turned off the phone and lay in my childhood bed, staring at the ceiling. 7 months ago, I'd kissed my wife goodbye, hugged my daughter, and left to serve my country. I'd trusted Jake to look after them, to be the friend he'd been for 20 years. Instead, I came home to betrayal, to a pregnant wife and a broken family. But I was alive. Emma was safe. And tomorrow, I'd start the process of rebuilding. The war in Afghanistan was over for me, but the battle for my daughter, for my life, for my future, that was just beginning. And I didn't lose battles. Chapter 2. The storm I woke at 0500 out of habit. For a moment, I forgot where I was. Not Afghanistan, not my house. My old room at my parents' place, football trophies still on the shelf. Then it all came crashing back. Michelle, pregnant, Jake. I found Dad in the kitchen, coffee already made. Couldn't sleep either? He asked. Not much. Emma's still out. Your mother's magic. I poured coffee, black and strong. I keep thinking I'll wake up, that this is just a nightmare. It's real, son. Question is, what you do next? Divorce, custody, moving forward. That's logistics, I mean up here. He tapped his temple. And here, his heart. Those are off limits right now. He nodded. Fair enough. One day at a time. My phone buzzed. I'd turned it back on out of habit. 53 messages. I scrolled through, deleting most without reading. Then one caught my eye. Michelle. Can we talk? Please. For Emma. Always invoking Emma when it suited her. I showed Dad. He snorted. Now she wants to talk? Where was talking 4 months ago? Another message came through. Michelle. I'm staying at my sister's, the baby. I'm scared, please. Do not respond, Dad said. Nothing good comes from engaging right now. Let the lawyers handle it. He was right. But part of me wanted answers. Why? How could she? What was she thinking? I need to go to the house, I said. Get more of Emma's things. Some clothes. I'll come with you. I've got it. Wasn't a request. We drove in silence. The neighborhood looked different in morning light. Normal. Like yesterday hadn't happened. But curtains twitched as we passed. Everyone knew. The house was a disaster. Broken window boarded up. Furniture askew. It smelled wrong, like Jake's cologne. How had I not noticed immediately? I went straight to Emma's room while Dad surveyed the damage. Pink walls, princess posters, toys scattered everywhere. This was the one clean space. The one place their betrayal hadn't touched. I packed carefully. Favorite stuffed animals, clothes, the blanket she couldn't sleep without. The drawing she'd made me before deployment. Stick figures labeled Daddy, Mommy, and me with a heart around us. My hands shook. Marcus, Dad called. You need to see this. I found him in my bedroom, holding something. Ultrasound photos, hidden in Michelle's nightstand drawer. Baby Coleman, written on them. Not even pretending it might be mine. She knew, I said. When I deployed, she knew she was going to do this. Or she's been doing it longer than 3 months, Dad said grimly. I hadn't considered that. The thought made me sick. We searched more thoroughly. Found a credit card I didn't recognize. Lingerie I hadn't bought. A men's watch in the back of a drawer. Not mine. How long? I wondered aloud. How long was I the fool? You weren't a fool. You trusted your wife. That's what you're supposed to do. And Jake was never your friend. Real friends don't do this. My phone rang. Tom Harrison. Marcus, I've got good news. Judge Martin is willing to hear an emergency custody petition Monday morning. Given the adultery and your military service, He's inclined to grant temporary full custody pending the divorce. That fast? Military town, military judge. He doesn't look kindly on spouses who cheat during deployment. Bring any evidence you have. I've got plenty. Good. Also, Michelle's been calling my office. Wants to negotiate. No. That's what I told her. See you Monday at 0800. I hung up and found more evidence. Receipts for hotels, restaurants I'd never been to, charges while I was gone. She hadn't even tried to hide it well. Pack it all, Dad said. Documentation wins custody battles. We loaded boxes into his truck. I took one last look at the master bedroom, the bed where Emma was conceived, where Michelle and I had said goodbye 7 months ago. Where she and Jake? I shut the door. Back at my parents', Emma was eating pancakes. Daddy! Grandma made shapes! I see that, Princess. Is that a butterfly? It's a plane, like the ones you fly in. Close enough. I sat beside her, stealing a bite. Normal. Act normal. Don't let her see the storm inside. We're staying with Grandma for a while, I said. Is that okay? Yes, she has better syrup. Mom smiled. Grandma's secret stash. Can Mommy visit here? The room went quiet. We'll see, I said. Right now, Mommy needs some time to think about her choices. Because of the baby? Yes. Is the baby why you and Mommy were fighting? Christ, she was too smart. It's complicated, sweetheart. Adult stuff. That's what Mommy said when I asked why Uncle Jake was there so much. My coffee mug creaked in my grip. How often was Uncle Jake there? I kept my voice level. Lots. He picked me up from school sometimes, and he was there for breakfast. And sometimes he'd read me stories when Mommy was tired. Mom saw my face and intervened. Emma, why don't we go feed the birds? I saved some bread. They went outside. I put my head in my hands. Breakfast? Dad said. The son of a bitch was eating breakfast in your house? Playing family, with my family. Mike arrived, still in his PT gear. Heard from some guys at Lejeune. Jake's CO is opening an Article 134 investigation. Conduct unbecoming. Good. Also, Karen filed for divorce and a restraining order, and she's telling everyone who'll listen what he did. Hell hath no fury, Dad muttered. She's at her mom's with the new baby and their toddler. Jake's living in his car, last I heard. Michelle tried to contact him, but Karen's brothers had a word with him about staying away from both of them. Some justice, at least. How you holding up? Mike asked. I'm just existing. For Emma. That's enough for now. My phone buzzed. Another unknown number. Sergeant Rivers? This is Dr. Patricia Chen from Base Mental Health. Your CO asked me to reach out. I know you're dealing with a lot. My door's open when you're ready. Thanks, Doc. Maybe later. The offer stands. And Marcus, what happened isn't your fault. Logically, I knew that. Emotionally, different story. The weekend passed in a blur. Lawyers, paperwork, trying to keep Emma's routine normal. She asked about Mommy constantly. Each question was a knife twist. Sunday night, Tom called with strategy. Tomorrow, we go for the jugular. Abandonment of family care plan during deployment, adultery, exposing a minor to inappropriate situations. We've got her dead to rights. I don't want to destroy her. I just want my daughter safe. Same thing in this case. She made her bed with Jake. Now she lies in it. Alone, hopefully. What if she fights it? With what? She's pregnant with another man's child while you were deployed. No judge in this military town will side with her. Trust me. But Michelle had one card left to play. That night, as I tucked Emma in at my parents' house, she asked, Daddy, will you still love me when the new baby comes? What? Of course, Princess. I'll always love you. Mommy said the baby needs a daddy too. And Uncle Jake can't be the daddy because Aunt Karen is mad. So maybe you could be the daddy? The manipulation. Emma, did Mommy tell you to ask me that? She looked down. She said you might be happier if I asked. Oh, sweetheart. I pulled her close. That's not your job. Your job is to be a kid, to play and learn and grow, not to worry about adult problems. I don't want you to be sad. I'm not sad when I'm with you. You make everything better. Promise? Promise. I stayed until she fell asleep, then found Mom in the kitchen. She's using Emma, I said. Coaching her to... I heard. That stops tomorrow when you get custody. What if the judge doesn't? He will. Tom's the best, and you've got right on your side. But I'd learned that right didn't always win. Sometimes betrayal did. Sometimes the enemy was inside the wire before you even knew there was a threat. I need some air, I said. I walked the neighborhood I'd grown up in. Past the park where I'd learned to throw a football, the school where I'd met my first girlfriend, the recruiting office where I'd signed my life to the Marines. Every choice had led here. To a pregnant wife who wasn't carrying my child, to a best friend who'd stabbed me in the back, to a daughter caught in the middle of adult failures. My phone buzzed, Jake's number. I almost didn't answer. Then curiosity won. What? Mark, please let me explain. Explain what? How you screwed my wife. How you played daddy to my daughter. How you betrayed 20 years of friendship. It wasn't supposed to happen. But it did. For months. In my house. In my bed. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I lost everything. Karen took the kids. My career's over. Michelle won't even talk to me now. Good. I loved her. The words hit like a physical blow. You loved her? I laughed, harsh and bitter. You loved my wife? I couldn't help it. You were gone and she was lonely and... Lonely? I was in Afghanistan, getting shot at. For my country. For her. I know. I'm sorry. I fell for her. And she said she loved me too. Past tense. Loved. Not loves. And now? I asked, hating myself for caring. Now she won't return my calls. Says she needs to focus on you and Emma. That maybe you'll take her back if I'm out of the picture. The calculating bitch. She's using you, I said. Just like she used me. Mark, we're done. You call me again, I'll finish what I started on my lawn. And Jake? That baby she's carrying? Your problem now, not mine. Never mine. I hung up and blocked his number. Back at the house, Dad was on the porch. Jake? He asked. Yeah. What do you want? Absolution, understanding, things I can't give. Good, don't. We sat in comfortable silence. Tomorrow's the big day, he said. You ready? No, but I'll do it anyway. That's my boy, Marine through and through. Dad, did you ever, when you were deployed, did Mom ever? No. Your mother's loyal as they come. Waited for me through 2 tours in Vietnam. Never wavered. How'd you know she would? I didn't. That's what trust is. Giving someone the power to destroy you and believing they won't. I trusted Michelle. And she failed that trust. That's on her, not you. I trusted Jake too. Also on him. Son, you can't go through life not trusting. That's no way to live. You just have to be more careful who gets that trust. Easy to say. Harder to do when the 2 people I'd trusted most had conspired to destroy me. Get some sleep, Dad said. Tomorrow, we fight for Emma. But sleep didn't come easy. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw them. Together, in my house. Laughing at the fool deployed overseas. Playing family with my daughter. By 0400, I gave up. Got up, made coffee, reviewed the custody paperwork one more time. Tom had been thorough. Every infidelity documented. Every breach of trust cataloged. By the time court opened, I'd be ready. The storm was here. Time to weather it. For Emma. Always for Emma. Chapter 3. Justice Monday morning came like D-Day. I stood in front of the bathroom mirror at 0600, adjusting my dress blues. Every ribbon in place, every medal aligned. Tom said image mattered in custody cases, and nothing said stability like a Marine in uniform. "Looking good, son," Dad said from the doorway. He wore his old service dress, Vietnam ribbons prominent. "Judge Martin's a Marine too. Korea, I heard." "Think it'll help?" "Can't hurt. Marines take care of their own." Emma was staying with Mom during the hearing. Better she didn't see this part. The ugly legal machinery of a family dissolving. Tom met us at the courthouse, briefcase in hand and confidence radiating. "She lawyered up," he said. "Patricia Sanderson, decent attorney, but this case..." He shrugged. "Hard to defend the indefensible." "What's her angle?" "Probably going to claim emotional abandonment due to deployment. Maybe say Jake was providing support she needed. Standard cheating spouse playbook." "Will it work?" "Not with Judge Martin. Man's got 3 sons in the service. He understands deployment isn't abandonment." We entered the courtroom. Michelle was already there, wearing a conservative dress that couldn't hide her pregnancy. 4 months along and showing clearly. Her attorney, a sharp-looking woman in her 50s, whispered urgently in her ear. Michelle looked up, saw me, and quickly looked away. Good. Let her feel shame. All rise for the Honorable Judge William Martin. The judge entered, 70s, silver-haired, ramrod straight. Marine Corps pin on his lapel. His eyes swept the room, lingered on my uniform, then settled on Michelle's obvious condition. "Be seated. We're here for an emergency custody hearing in the matter of Rivers versus Rivers." "Mr. Harrison?" Tom stood. "Your Honor, we're seeking immediate temporary full custody of the minor child, Emma Rivers, age 5. My client, Staff Sergeant Marcus Rivers, returned from a 7-month deployment in Afghanistan to discover his wife, Michelle Rivers, is 4 months pregnant." Judge Martin's eyebrows rose. 7 months deployed, 4 months pregnant. I can do that math, Counselor. "Yes, Your Honor. Additionally, we have evidence that Mrs. Rivers conducted an affair with Sergeant Coleman, my client's best friend, in the marital home, exposing the minor child to inappropriate situations." "What evidence?" Tom presented everything. The text messages. The ultrasound with baby Coleman written on it. Hotel receipts. Witness statements from neighbors about Jake's overnight visits. Mrs. Patterson, the next-door neighbor, reports seeing Sergeant Coleman's vehicle at the residence multiple times per week, often overnight during Sergeant Rivers' deployment. Judge Martin reviewed each document, his face darkening. "Miss Sanderson, what does your client have to say?" Michelle's attorney stood. "Your Honor, my client doesn't deny the affair. However, she was lonely, struggling with single parenthood during a difficult deployment." "Counselor," Judge Martin interrupted, "are you seriously arguing that loneliness justifies adultery and exposing a child to an affair partner?" "No, Your Honor. I'm simply providing context. Mrs. Rivers loves her daughter and has been her primary caregiver." "While conducting an affair in the family home," Tom interjected. "The child told my client that Uncle Jake was there for breakfast, bedtime stories, picking her up from school. He was playing father while Sergeant Rivers served our country." "Is this true, Mrs. Rivers?" the judge asked directly. Michelle stood shakily. "Yes, Your Honor, but Jake was helping with Emma." "Helping?" Judge Martin's voice could have frozen hell. "Ma'am, do you understand what your husband was doing while you were getting help from another man?" Yes, Your Honor. He was in combat, risking his life, for you, for your daughter, for our country. And you repaid that by..." He stopped, visibly controlling himself. "How long did the affair last?" 4 months, Michelle whispered. 4 months. And you're 4 months pregnant. "Yes, Your Honor." "So you became pregnant almost immediately after beginning the affair?" Michelle's attorney objected. "Relevance, Your Honor?" "Goes to judgment and decision-making, Counselor. I'll allow it." "Yes," Michelle admitted. "I found out I was pregnant about a month into the relationship." "And you continued the affair? Continued exposing your daughter to this situation?" "Jake said he loved me, said he'd take care of us." "While your husband was deployed," Judge Martin finished. "Ma'am, I've seen a lot in family court. but the casualness of your betrayal, the fact that you allowed another man to play father to your daughter while her actual father was in combat. He turned to me. Sergeant Rivers, do you have anything to add? I stood at attention. Your Honor, I don't want to keep Emma from her mother forever. But right now, I don't trust her judgment. She exposed our daughter to an affair, allowed another man to assume a parental role, and used our child to facilitate the relationship. I just want Emma safe and stable while we sort out the divorce. And the pregnancy? Not my child, not my concern, sir. Judge Martin nodded. Mrs. Rivers, who is supporting you during this pregnancy? Michelle hesitated. I'm staying with my sister. And Sergeant Coleman? We're not. His wife is divorcing him. He lost his housing. So, the man who was going to take care of you is now homeless and facing military discipline? Silence. I've heard enough, Judge Martin announced. Based on the evidence presented, I'm granting temporary full physical and legal custody to Sergeant Rivers, effective immediately. Michelle gasped. No, Your Honor, please. Mrs. Rivers, you made choices, adult choices. Those choices have consequences. He continued, You'll have supervised visitation, 2 hours every Saturday at the Family Services Center. You'll undergo a psychological evaluation before we revisit custody. And ma'am, if you bring Sergeant Coleman anywhere near that child, you'll lose even supervised visitation. Are we clear? Yes, Your Honor, Michelle sobbed. Sergeant Rivers, I'm also granting exclusive use of the marital home. Mrs. Rivers, you have 72 hours to collect any remaining belongings, with a police escort. Furthermore, he looked at Tom, I'm fast-tracking this divorce. Military adultery during deployment is grounds for immediate dissolution in this state. File the papers, Mr. Harrison. Already prepared, Your Honor. Good. Mrs. Rivers, you have 30 days to respond. Given the clear adultery and pregnancy, I don't anticipate this taking long. He banged his gavel. We're adjourned. And Mrs. Rivers? A word of advice. That child you're carrying deserves better than the example you've set. Do better. Michelle fled the courtroom in tears. Her attorney followed, heels clicking on marble. Tom grinned. That went better than expected. Supervised visitation only? Judge Martin doesn't mess around with deployment adultery. Seen too many soldiers come home to empty houses and empty bank accounts. Outside, Michelle waited by her car. Her attorney was gone. Marcus, please! No. I kept walking. I made a mistake. I stopped, turned. A mistake? You trip and fall? That's a mistake. You sleep with my best friend for 4 months, get pregnant, let him play daddy to my daughter. That's not a mistake. That's a series of deliberate choices. I was lonely. So was I. You know what I did when I was lonely? I looked at pictures of you and Emma. I counted days until I came home. You don't understand? You're right. I don't. I don't understand how you could do it. Any of it. In our bed, Michelle. In our home. I loved him. Past tense again. And now? Now I realize I ruined everything for nothing. He won't even return my calls. Says Karen might take him back if he cuts all contact with me. So you want me back by default? Because your boyfriend chose his wife? You're my husband. Was your husband. Now I'm just Emma's father. That's all we have left. What about forgiveness? You're Catholic. Don't you dare use faith to manipulate me. Forgiveness doesn't mean accepting continued betrayal. Doesn't mean raising another man's child as my own. No, I couldn't. Every time I looked at that baby, I'd see your betrayal, Jake's betrayal. I'd see the destruction of everything I thought we had. She was crying again. So that's it? 7 years of marriage gone? You threw it away, not me. You made vows, Michelle, in front of God and our families. Then you broke them, repeatedly, enthusiastically. I'm scared, she admitted. Single, pregnant, no job. Should have thought of that 4 months ago. You're cruel. No. Cruel was what you did to me, to Emma, to our family. I'm just done. Done pretending you're someone you're not. Done believing in us. Dad approached. Time to go, son. Emma's waiting. I left Michelle standing there, pregnant and alone. Felt no satisfaction in it. No joy. Just empty. Back at my parents' house, Emma ran out to meet us. Daddy, did you win? Yeah, princess, I won. So I stay with you? You stay with me. Forever? For now. Mommy will visit on Saturdays. What about the baby? The baby will live with Mommy. Oh. She thought about this. Will you be lonely without Mommy? Out of the mouths of babes. I've got you. How could I be lonely? She smiled, satisfied. Can we get that dog now? Mom laughed. She's been asking all morning. We'll see, I said, but I was already weakening. Emma deserved something good after all this upheaval. That night, after Emma was asleep, I sat with my family. Mike had brought beer. Mom made her famous lasagna. Almost felt normal. So what now? Mike asked. Divorce proceedings? Getting the house cleaned and DJ'd. Finding a routine for Emma. And Michelle? Not my problem anymore. What about Jake? Definitely not my problem. Heard he's facing an Article 134, conduct unbecoming, might lose his stripes. Good, Dad growled. Should lose more than that. My phone buzzed. Karen Coleman. Sorry to bother you. Wanted you to know, I'm not taking him back. Ever. Also, my attorney says, since the baby was conceived during our marriage, Jake's legally responsible, even though it's not mine. Thought Michelle should know she won't be getting child support from two men. Legal technicalities. Jake would be paying child support to two different women for children born days apart. One his, one not, but both his legal responsibility. Thanks for the heads up, Karen. We're both victims here, Marcus. Our kids too. Take care. Strange allies in strange times. The fallout continues, I told the family. Play stupid games, Mike said. Win stupid prizes. Speaking of prizes, Mom interrupted, I think you should consider that therapist who called Dr. Chen. I'm fine. No, you're not. And that's okay. But Emma needs you healthy, mentally too. She was right. The anger was eating me alive. Every quiet moment, I saw them together. Imagined what I hadn't seen. It was poisoning me. I'll think about it. Good. Now, about that dog Emma wants. We talked about normal things, dog breeds, school enrollment, baseball season. Slowly, I felt myself returning to Earth, to the present, to what mattered, Emma, family, moving forward. The storm had hit. We'd survived the first wave. Now came the long, slow rebuild. One day at a time, one breath at a time, one small victory at a time, starting with full custody of my daughter. The rest would follow. Chapter 4. Consequences. Tuesday morning brought new challenges. I stood in my house alone now, surveying the damage. Not just the broken window and scattered furniture, but the invisible wounds, the contamination of betrayal in every room. We'll start with the bedroom, Mom said, rubber gloves already on. She'd insisted on helping. New mattress, new sheets, new everything. Fresh start. I can handle it, Mom. I know you can, but you don't have to. We worked in silence, stripping the bed, bagging everything. The sheets smelled like Jake's cologne, Michelle's perfume, evidence of their betrayal embedded in the fabric. Burn it all, I said, already planning on it. We found more evidence as we cleaned. Jake's toothbrush in the master bathroom, his phone charger in the nightstand, a pair of his socks under the bed. He was living here, Mom said, disgust evident, playing house with your family, while I was playing soldier half a world away. No. Her voice was sharp. You weren't playing anything. You were serving. Don't diminish that because of what they did. She was right, but it was hard not to feel foolish. The deployed husband, oblivious while his life was stolen. My phone rang. Unknown number. Sergeant Rivers? This is Major Thompson from JAG. I'm handling the case against Sergeant Coleman. I'd like to get your statement. Yes, sir. When? This afternoon, if possible. 1400 hours? I'll be there. Military justice moved fast when it wanted to. Jake was about to learn that. We loaded the contaminated items into Mom's truck. Everything they'd touched. Everything that reminded me of them together. The bedroom looked bare, but clean. Now we shop, Mom announced. New bedding, new furniture if you want. Make it yours again. I don't know if I can sleep in here. Then we'll convert it. Make it an office. You can sleep in the guest room until you're ready. Practical. Forward-thinking. That's what I needed. We spent the morning at furniture stores. Emma needed to feel at home when she visited, so we let her preferences guide us. Pink sheets for her room. A new reading chair. Small things to mark the transition. At 1400, I sat across from Major Thompson at JAG. He was all business. Crew cut, sharp eyes, no nonsense. Sergeant Rivers, I need you to understand that adultery is a crime under the UCMJ. We're pursuing charges against Sergeant Coleman. Your testimony is crucial. What do you need to know? Everything. When you discovered the affair, how long it lasted, any evidence you collected. I told him. Every detail. The pregnancy. The texts. Jake playing father to Emma. Living in my house. Major Thompson's face darkened with each revelation. He was essentially living as your replacement while you were deployed? Yes, sir. My daughter called him Uncle Jake. He was picking her up from school, eating breakfast at my table, sleeping in my bed. And the pregnancy? 4 months along. Confirmed it's his. There are ultrasounds labeled Baby Coleman. Christ, he caught himself. Excuse me. This is one of the worst cases I've seen. The betrayal of a deployed brother-in-arms. What's he facing? Reduction in rank, forfeiture of pay, possible confinement. Definitely a bad conduct discharge. His career is over. Good. Though it felt hollow. What was a career compared to a family? We'll need you to testify at the court-martial, Major Thompson continued. Are you willing? Yes, sir. It won't be easy. His defense will try to paint you as absent, negligent. They'll make excuses. Let them try. I was serving my country. He was serving himself to my wife. Major Thompson smiled grimly. That's the spirit. We'll be in touch with dates. I left JAG feeling drained. Justice was coming, but it wouldn't undo the damage. Back home, Mike was installing new locks. Can't be too careful, he said. Who knows who has keys now? You think Jake made copies? I think Jake felt real comfortable here. Better safe than sorry. While he worked, I checked my email. Dozens of messages. Word had spread through the unit. Support from brothers-in-arms who understood deployment betrayal. Anger at Jake from men who knew him. Shock from those who'd thought we were the perfect military family. One email stood out. From my commander, Lieutenant Colonel Morrison. Rivers, take all the time you need. Your position is secure. We take care of our own, especially when they've been wronged like this. Coleman is being transferred pending court-martial. You won't have to see him on base. If you need anything, counseling, legal support, time off, just ask. You served with honor in Afghanistan. We'll make sure you're served with honor here. Semper Fi. The Corps was closing ranks around me. It helped, knowing I wasn't alone in this. Emma came home from school. Mom had picked her up. She ran to me, backpack bouncing. Daddy, we learned about butterflies today. Did you know they used to be caterpillars? I did know that. Pretty cool, huh? Yeah. They go in a cocoon and come out all different. Mrs. Johnson says it's called metamorphosis. Metamorphosis. Transformation. Maybe that's what this was. The ugly caterpillar phase before becoming something new. Can we get butterflies? Emma asked. We can get a butterfly garden. Attract them to our yard. Yes, Mommy said butterflies were silly, but... She stopped, looking uncertain. But what, Princess? Is it okay to talk about Mommy? My heart broke a little more. Of course it is. She's still your mom. She called me at Grandma's, said she missed me, said the baby was making her sick. Of course she'd called, probably trying to maintain influence through Emma. That's normal when women have babies, I said carefully. She'll feel better later. Will I meet the baby? Christ, would she? Would I allow my daughter around Jake's child? The physical proof of betrayal? We'll see when the time comes. Okay. She accepted this easily, already distracted by a butterfly outside the window. Look, maybe it came to live here already. That night, after Emma was asleep, I found myself in the garage. My workout equipment sat unused since deployment. I needed to hit something that wasn't Jake's face. The heavy bag took punishment as I worked through combinations: jab, cross, hook, each impact releasing a fraction of the rage. Thought I'd find you here. Dad stood in the doorway, coffee in hand. Can't sleep. Won't sleep, more like. Your body's exhausted. Your mind won't let go. He was right. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw them. Heard Emma talking about Uncle Jake at breakfast. Imagined the life they'd built in my absence. How do I stop seeing it? I asked. You don't. Not right away. But eventually it fades. Becomes a scar instead of an open wound. Speaking from experience? Not personal, but I've seen plenty of men betrayed. In Nam, we'd get Dear John letters. At least those were honest. I found someone else. Goodbye. This? He gestured at the house. This sneaking around, playing family, getting pregnant. This is worse. She wants me to forgive her. Take her back. Of course she does. Her boyfriend bailed. She's pregnant and alone. You're the backup plan. Am I wrong to say no? Emma needs her mother. Emma needs a father who respects himself, who shows her that actions have consequences. That marriage means something. The baby's innocent in this. Yes, and that's Jake's responsibility, not yours. You can't save everyone's son. Sometimes you have to save yourself first. He was right. But knowing it and feeling it were different things. My phone buzzed. Text from an unknown number. This is Patricia Sanderson, Michelle's attorney. My client is requesting an advance on marital assets for medical expenses related to the pregnancy. Please have your attorney contact me. The audacity. I forwarded it to Tom with a simple, handle this. His response was immediate. On it. Short answer, no. Long answer, hell no. At least my lawyer understood. I hit the bag harder. Sweat poured, muscles burned, but the anger remained. It would take more than exercise to exorcise these demons. You should try that therapist, Dad said. No shame in it. Hell, I probably should have gone after Nam. Might have saved your mother some grief. Maybe. Not maybe. Tomorrow. Make the call. He left me to my workout, but his words lingered. I'd fought external enemies in Afghanistan. This internal battle might be harder. Wednesday brought the divorce papers. Tom delivered them personally, walking me through each section. Simple dissolution based on adultery. She gets nothing from the marriage. No alimony, no claim on the house, no military benefits. The prenup protects your retirement. And Emma? Full custody with supervised visitation as ordered. We're asking for child support from her, though given her employment situation. I don't want her money. It's not about want. It's about Emma's rights. The court will set an amount based on her income potential. Which is? She's got a degree, work history before Emma. Judge will impute income whether she's working or not. And medical coverage for the pregnancy? Not your problem. She lost military dependent status the moment she committed adultery. Jake's still technically married to Karen, so Michelle can't get coverage through him either. The consequences multiplying. Each decision creating new problems for her. Serves her right, Tom said, reading my face. Actions have consequences. After he left, I made the call to Dr. Chen. Her office could see me Friday. First step toward something. Healing, maybe. Or just learning to live with the wound. Emma and I spent the afternoon in the backyard, planning our butterfly garden. She drew elaborate pictures of flowers and butterflies, narrating each one. This one's the daddy butterfly. He's strong and protects the baby butterflies. This one's the sister butterfly. She likes pink flowers best. What about the mommy butterfly? Emma paused, crayon hovering. She lives in a different garden now, but she still loves the baby butterflies. Kids understood more than we gave them credit for. That's a good story, Princess. Daddy? Will you marry a new mommy? What? No, Emma. Why would you ask that? Lily at school said when mommies and daddies don't live together anymore, they get new mommies and daddies. I don't want a new mommy. You won't get a new mommy. You have a mommy. She just lives somewhere else now. Good. But maybe you could marry someone nice, like Mrs. Johnson. She makes good cookies. I laughed despite everything. Mrs. Johnson is already married, Princess. Oh, well, someone else nice then. When you're not sad anymore. When I'm not sad anymore. How long would that take? That evening, Karen Coleman called. Marcus, I'm sorry to bother you. I wanted to warn you. Jake's been drinking. Heavily. His brother called me, worried. Just be careful. Desperate men do desperate things. You think he'd come here? I don't know. Maybe. He's lost everything. Career, family, both women. His parents won't talk to him. His brothers are disgusted. He's spiraling. I'll keep the doors locked. I'm sorry. For all of this. We didn't deserve this. No, we didn't. How's the baby? Perfect. Sleeping finally. James doesn't understand why Daddy's not here, but we'll manage. We will. Both of us. After we hung up, I checked the new locks. Set the alarm system Mike had insisted on installing. Jake showing up drunk and desperate was the last thing Emma needed to see. But he didn't come. Not that night. Thursday was court-martial prep. Major Thompson's team walked me through testimony, what to expect, how to stay calm under cross-examination. They'll try to rattle you, the prosecutor explained. Make you seem vindictive, unreasonable. Don't let them. Stick to facts. You deployed. You served. You came home to betrayal. Simple. What's Jake's defense? Temporary insanity due to emotional attachment. Basically, he fell in love and couldn't help himself. That's a defense? A weak one. Adultery is adultery under UCMJ. Feelings don't matter. Actions do. Good. Let him try to explain how love justified destroying two families. Emma's first supervised visitation was Saturday. 2 hours at the Family Services Center with Michelle. I dreaded it, but Emma needed to see her mother. Friday came, therapy day. Dr. Chen's office was nothing like I'd expected. No couch, no sterile medical feel, just comfortable chairs and soft lighting. Marcus, she greeted me. Thank you for coming. I know this isn't easy for military members. No, ma'am, but my family thinks it'll help. What do you think? I considered. I think I'm angry all the time. I think I see them together whenever I close my eyes. I think I'm afraid of what this is doing to my daughter. Those are all normal responses to betrayal trauma. Let's start there. For an hour, I talked about the deployment, the homecoming, the discovery, the rage that wouldn't leave. You keep calling it betrayal, Dr. Chen noted. Not affair, not infidelity, betrayal. Because that's what it was. Jake was my brother. 20 years. I trusted him with everything. And Michelle, she promised. In sickness and health, good times and bad. Not until deployment do us part. You're grieving. Not just the marriage, but the friendship, the life you thought you had, the future you'd planned. I suppose. Have you let yourself grieve, or just stayed angry? Anger's easier. Yes, but not sustainable, especially with a young daughter watching. She was right. Emma was watching everything, absorbing how I handled this. I needed to model something better than rage. What do you suggest? Feel it. All of it. The hurt beneath the anger, the sadness, the fear. Let it wash through you instead of fighting it. I'm a Marine. We don't... You're human. Marines are human. Strong humans, capable humans, but human nonetheless. We scheduled another session for next week. Small steps. Saturday morning arrived too quickly. Time for Emma's first visitation with Michelle. Do I have to go? Emma asked over breakfast. You don't have to, but Mommy wants to see you. Don't you want to see her? I guess. Will you come? I'll drop you off and pick you up. But this is special time for you and Mommy. What if she cries again? My jaw clenched. Again? She cried on the phone, said she missed me and made bad choices. Using our daughter as an emotional support animal. Typical. If she cries, you can give her a hug. But remember, it's not your job to make adults feel better. Okay. The Family Services Center was neutral ground. Bright, kid-friendly, supervised. Michelle waited in the playroom, visibly nervous. Still pregnant, still wearing her wedding ring, I noticed. Hi, baby. She opened her arms for Emma, who ran into them. Despite everything, she was still her mother. 2 hours, the supervisor reminded everyone. I'll be right outside. I kissed Emma's head. Have fun, princess. I'll be back soon. Michelle caught my arm as I turned to leave. Marcus, can we talk? Just for a minute? No. Please, I'm getting the divorce papers Monday. Can't we try? No, this is Emma's time. Don't waste it on us. I left before she could respond. 2 hours to kill. I drove to the beach, needing space and air. My phone rang. Jake's brother. Marcus, I'm sorry to call. Jake's missing. Left rehab, took his car. He's been talking about making things right. I thought you should know. Great. A drunk, desperate Jake on the loose. Thanks for the heads up. For what it's worth, I'm sorry. What he did, our whole family's disgusted. You were his brother, man. More than us, even. Yeah, well, he made his choice. Take care of yourself. And that little girl. I stayed alert driving back, watching for Jake's Mustang. Nothing. Maybe he'd just run. Started over somewhere else. At the center, Emma bounded out, chattering about the games they'd played. Michelle stood in the doorway, tears streaming. Daddy, why is Mommy sad? Grown-up stuff, princess. Say goodbye. Bye, Mommy. See you next week. Michelle mouthed please at me. I shook my head, loaded Emma up, and drove away. In the rearview mirror, she stood alone, pregnant, crying. I felt nothing. The woman I'd loved was gone. This was just someone who looked like her. Did you have fun? I asked Emma. Yeah, we played dolls and read stories, but Mommy kept asking about you. Oh? She wanted to know if you were happy, if you missed her, if you talked about her. What did you say? I said you were sad sometimes, but that we're getting a butterfly garden so you'll be happy again. That's perfect, princess. Mommy said she loves you. I gripped the wheel tighter. I know. Do you love her? The hardest question from the smallest person. I loved who she used to be, but people change sometimes. Like caterpillars? Yeah, like caterpillars. But sometimes they don't become butterflies. Sometimes they become something else. What did Mommy become? I don't know yet, princess. I don't know. That night, I tucked Emma in and sat on the porch. The stars were out. Same stars I'd watched in Afghanistan. Different world now. My phone buzzed. Text from Michelle. Thank you for letting me see her. I know I don't deserve it. I love you. We can fix this. I deleted it without responding. Some things couldn't be fixed. Some transformations couldn't be undone. Tomorrow would bring new challenges. Jake's court-martial looming. Divorce proceedings. Chapter 5. The Reckoning Sunday started with pounding on my door at 0530. I grabbed my sidearm from the nightstand, old habits from deployment, and checked the security camera Mike had installed. Jake. Disheveled, swaying, clearly drunk. Mark! Open up! We need to talk! I set the gun aside, but kept it close. Checked that Emma was still asleep, then activated the recording app on my phone. Evidence. Jake, you need to leave. Now. Not until we talk. 20 years, brother. 20 years. We're not brothers. Brothers don't... I stopped myself. Emma didn't need to wake to this. I loved her! He slammed his fist against the door. You don't understand. When you left, she was so alone. Go home, Jake! I don't have a home. Karen took it. You took Michelle. I have nothing. You took that from yourself. Every choice, every lie, every time you were in my bed. One mistake. 4 months isn't one mistake. Getting her pregnant isn't one mistake. Mrs. Patterson's porch light came on. Then the Johnsons. Jake's shouting had woken the neighborhood. I'm calling the police, I said through the door. You have 30 seconds. You ruined my life. The audacity snapped something in me. I yanked the door open, staying in the frame. I ruined your life? You screwed my wife, in my house, while I was deployed. He took a drunken swing, sloppy, telegraphed. I sidestepped, and he stumbled forward. 20 years of friendship, and this is where we were. Daddy? I turned. Emma stood at the top of the stairs, clutching her stuffed rabbit. Go back to bed, princess. Everything's okay. Uncle Jake. She sounded confused, scared. Jake straightened, seemed to sober slightly seeing her. Emma. No. I stepped between them. You don't talk to her, ever? She's my... He stopped, maybe realizing what he'd been about to say. Your what? My voice was deadly quiet. Finish that sentence. He backed away. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. So, for everything. Sirens in the distance. Mrs. Patterson must have called. You should run, I told him, before they get here. Before you make this worse. He looked at me, at Emma, at the approaching lights. Then he ran to his car, peeled out just as the police arrived. Sir? The officer approached carefully. We got a disturbance call? My wife's affair partner showed up drunk. He just left in a silver Mustang heading south on Oak. He's intoxicated. We'll put out a bolo. Are you pressing charges? For trespassing? Yes. There's a restraining order in progress. After they left, I found Emma in my arms, trembling. Why was Uncle Jake so angry? He made bad choices, and now he's sad about the consequences. Like Mommy? Yes, like Mommy. I don't like when people yell. I know, Princess. I'm sorry you had to see that. I held her until she fell back asleep, then carried her to bed. My phone showed missed calls from Karen, Mike, my parents. Word traveled fast in a military town. By morning, I had the full story. Jake had been arrested for DUI 3 blocks away. BAC of .18. Add that to trespassing, violating a restraining order, and his pending court-martial. He was done. Monday brought the official divorce filing. Tom handled everything while I focused on getting Emma ready for school. Mrs. Johnson says I can bring cupcakes for my birthday, Emma announced over cereal. Her birthday, 2 weeks away, the first one as a broken family. What kind do you want? Butterfly ones, to match our garden. At least she was excited about something. After dropping her at school, I met with Major Thompson. Jake's arrest had accelerated things. The command wants him court-martialed ASAP, he explained. DUI, conduct unbecoming, adultery. He's looking at confinement now, not just discharge. When? Thursday. Can you testify? Yes, sir. Good. His defense is falling apart. His attorney tried to negotiate a plea deal, but the command wants to make an example. You don't betray deployed brothers. That afternoon, I had another session with Dr. Chen. Jake came to my house drunk, I started. How did that make you feel? Angry, but also sad? 20 years of friendship, and it ends with him drunk on my lawn, scaring my daughter. You're mourning the friendship as much as the marriage. He was my brother. Closer than blood. I trusted him with everything. And he betrayed that trust. Spectacularly. We talked through the grief beneath the anger. The future I'd imagined, Jake as Emma's godfather, our kids growing up together, retirement fishing trips, all gone. It's okay to mourn what you've lost, Dr. Chen said. Both relationships, the future you'd planned. Marines don't mourn. We adapt and overcome. You're adapting, But healing requires acknowledging the loss first. Tuesday was house hunting with Emma. Not to move, the house was mine, but to see what she wanted in her room. Control over something when everything else was chaos. "Can we paint my walls?" she asked at the hardware store. "What color?" "Purple, with butterflies." "We can do that." We picked out paint, stencils, new curtains, small changes to mark the new chapter. That evening, Tom called with an update. Michelle's attorney responded. She's not contesting the adultery, but wants increased visitation and temporary support for medical expenses. No. That's what I told them. She made her bed with Jake, literally. His problem now. What about child support for Emma? Judge set it at $400 monthly once she's employed. She has 60 days to find work. Small victories. Wednesday, Karen called with her own update. Jake's parents cut him off, said he's no son of theirs. The Navy's processing his discharge paperwork. Bad conduct, loss of all benefits. How are you holding up? Better. My family's been amazing. Mom watches the boys while I work. We'll be okay. We both will. Marcus, I'm sorry for all of it. You're a good man. You deserved better. So did you. Strange bonds formed in shared betrayal. Thursday, court-martial day. I stood in my dress blues again, this time in a military courtroom. Jake sat at the defense table in his uniforms looking hollow. 4 months of consequences had aged him years. The prosecutor laid out the case methodically. The affair, the pregnancy, living in my house, the DUI, the trespassing. A pattern of disgraceful conduct. Staff Sergeant Rivers, the prosecutor called. Please describe your relationship with the accused prior to deployment. He was my best friend for 20 years. Since boot camp, my best man. My daughter's godfather. And you trusted him. Completely. What did you find upon returning from Afghanistan? I testified to the facts. Emotionlessly. Michelle's pregnancy. The evidence. Jake's possessions in my home. Emma calling him Uncle Jake while he played father. No further questions. Jake's attorney stood. Young, nervous. Sergeant Rivers, isn't it true you were gone for 7 months? On deployment? Serving our country? But gone nonetheless? Leaving your wife to manage alone? Leaving my wife to honor her vows while I honored my oath of service. You seem angry. I'm disappointed. In a man I called brother. In a Marine who betrayed everything we stand for. But surely you can understand loneliness. I understand duty, honor, loyalty, values the accused forgot. The attorney gave up, hard to defend the indefensible. Jake's turn to testify. He tried to explain, justify. Love, he said. Couldn't help himself. Michelle was lonely. I was gone. It just happened. Did you think about Sergeant Rivers? The prosecutor asked. Your best friend? While you were in his bed? Jake flinched. I tried not to. Did you think about your own wife? Your children? No. Did you consider the consequences? Not until it was too late. When was too late? After the first time? The 10th? When Mrs. Rivers became pregnant? I don't know. You don't know. The prosecutor's contempt was palpable. 20 years of friendship, and you don't know when you crossed the line? The panel, 5 senior officers, deliberated for less than an hour. Guilty on all charges. Reduction to E1. Forfeiture of all pay and allowances. 90 days confinement. Bad conduct discharge. Jake collapsed in his chair. 20-year career gone, benefits gone, future gone. All for 4 months of playing house with another man's wife. As they led him away, he looked at me, mouthed, I'm sorry. I felt nothing. The man who'd been my brother was already dead to me. This was just the funeral. Outside the courthouse, Michelle waited. Of course she did. How could you? She was crying. He's going to jail because of you. He's going to jail because of him and you. I loved him. Then you should have divorced me first. Done it honestly. Instead, you snuck around, lied, betrayed. Like you're perfect? Gone for months, barely calling, I was at war. Several passing Marines stopped, ready to intervene. I waved them off. This is the difference between us, I said quietly. I honored my commitments. You didn't. Now live with it. What about the baby? Jake's child will be born while he's in jail. Should have thought of that 4 months ago. I walked away, leaving her sobbing on the courthouse steps. The Marines who'd stopped gave me respectful nods. They understood. In our world, betrayal of a deployed brother was unforgivable. That evening, I picked Emma up from school. She chattered about her day, blissfully unaware of the drama. Daddy, can we paint my room this weekend? Absolutely, princess. And can we get a dog for my birthday? I laughed. We'll see. That means yes. Maybe it did. Maybe a dog would help fill the empty spaces in our restructured life. Friday brought respite. Emma had a play date, giving me time to process. The house felt different now, cleaner, lighter. Jake's ghost exorcised by justice. I met with Dr. Chen again. He's going to jail, I said. I should feel vindicated. But you don't? I feel empty, like the anger was holding me up, and now it's gone. That's normal. You've been running on adrenaline and rage. Now comes the harder part, building a new life. For Emma. For both of you. She needs a whole father, not just one going through the motions. She was right. Time to stop defining myself by the betrayal and start defining myself by what came next. Saturday, visitation day. Emma was less reluctant this time. Maybe mommy won't cry today. Maybe not, princess. But Michelle looked worse. The pregnancy showing more, dark circles under her eyes, defeat in her posture. Hi, baby, she hugged Emma. I missed you. I missed you too, Mommy. We're painting my room purple. As I turned to leave, Michelle didn't try to stop me. Growth, perhaps. Or just exhaustion. 2 hours later, Emma bounced out happier. Mommy only cried a little, she reported. And she said she's sorry for making bad choices. That's good. She asked if you hate her. What did you say? I said you were sad but getting better. Was that okay? That was perfect, princess. That night, after Emma was asleep, I sat on the porch. The stars were out again. Same stars, different life. The anger was fading, leaving something else. Not forgiveness, not yet, maybe never. But acceptance. This was my reality now. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. This is Jake's mom. I'm sorry for everything my son did. You were more family to him than we ever were, and he threw it away. Take care of that little girl. She's lucky to have you. I didn't reply. What was there to say? But her words settled something in me. Even his family understood the magnitude of his betrayal. Sunday morning, Emma and I started painting her room. Purple walls with butterfly stencils. She directed the operation with 5-year-old seriousness. That one needs to be flying up, she instructed. Butterflies always fly up to the sun. Do they? Yes, Mrs. Johnson told us. They fly to the light. Flying to the light. Maybe that's what we were doing too. Leaving the darkness behind, one purple butterfly at a time. Daddy? Emma asked, paintbrush in hand. Are you happy? I considered lying, saying yes to protect her, but she deserved honesty. I'm getting there, princess. Every day gets a little better. Because of me? Especially because of you. She beamed and went back to painting. My little butterfly, leading me to the light. Chapter 6. Rebuilding 2 weeks passed in a blur of legal procedures, therapy sessions, and establishing new routines. Emma's birthday approached, and with it, decisions about how to handle Michelle's involvement. She wants to come to the party, Tom informed me during our weekly call. Her attorney reached out. The party's at my house. She's not welcome here. I told them that. They're pushing for a separate celebration during her visitation. Fine. She can do something during her 2 hours, but Emma's actual party is mine. Agreed. Also, Jake's been transferred to the brig at Camp Lejeune. Michelle's been trying to visit, but she's not on his list. Because he's still married to Karen. Exactly. His divorce won't be final for months. Michelle's in legal limbo. Can't be with Jake. Can't claim military medical benefits. Can't access support. Karma working overtime. The week of Emma's birthday, I threw myself into preparations. Butterfly theme everything. Decorations, cake, party favors. My mom helped, turning my backyard into a purple paradise. You're going overboard? She laughed, hanging the 10th butterfly garland. It's her first birthday since everything. I want it perfect. She just wants you there. The rest is icing. But I needed the distraction, needed to focus on creation instead of destruction. Thursday before the party, Dr. Chen pushed deeper. You're avoiding talking about Michelle directly. It's always the betrayal or what happened. Why? Because saying her name makes it real. It is real. I know. But sometimes I still wake up expecting her there. Then I remember. You loved her. I did. God help me, I did. That's what makes this worse. If I'd married someone I didn't love, maybe it wouldn't hurt so much. But you wouldn't have Emma. True. Emma was worth any pain. Have you considered forgiveness? Dr. Chen asked. Not for them, for yourself. What do I need forgiveness for? For not seeing it, for trusting, for being human. I was deployed, and that's not an excuse they get to use. But you're carrying guilt about not knowing, about leaving. That guilt isn't yours to carry. She was right. But knowing and believing were different things. Friday night, I found Emma drawing at the kitchen table. Pictures of butterflies as usual, but also people. Stick figures labeled carefully in her shaky handwriting. Who's that? I asked, pointing to a group of figures. That's my birthday party, see? There's you and me and Grandma and Grandpa and Uncle Mike. What about this one? A single figure, separated from the others. That's Mommy. She can't come to the party, but she loves me from far away. 5 years old and already understanding more than she should. Do you wish Mommy could come? Emma thought carefully. Sometimes. But you said she made bad choices and needs time out. That's right. When I make bad choices, time out helps me think. Maybe it'll help Mommy too. Maybe it will, Princess. Saturday morning, party day. I woke early to finish decorations and found Mike already in the backyard, inflating balloons. Couldn't sleep either? I asked. Figured you'd need help. Plus, someone needs to man the grill. By noon, the yard was full of Emma's friends from school, their parents politely not mentioning the elephant in the room, Michelle's absence. Military families understood complicated situations. Emma was in her element, butterfly wings strapped to her back, directing games with queenly authority. Daddy, come play, she demanded, dragging me into a game of freeze tag. For an hour, I forgot everything except being present for my daughter. The pure joy on her face was worth every sleepless night. Then I saw her, Michelle, standing at the fence, watching. Not approaching, just watching her daughter's party from afar. Our eyes met. She looked exhausted, heavily pregnant now, defeat written in every line of her body. For a moment, I almost felt pity. Then I remembered Jake in my bed. The ultrasound labeled Baby Coleman, the months of lies. I walked to the fence. You need to leave. I just wanted to see, you'll see her at visitation. Not here, not today. Marcus, please, it's her birthday. Which is why I'm not making a scene. Leave. Now. She looked past me at Emma, who hadn't noticed her. Does she ask about me? Every day. I'm sorry, for everything. I know you don't believe me, but I am. You're sorry you got caught. Sorry Jake chose Karen. Sorry you're facing consequences. That's not the same as being sorry for what you did. How long are you going to punish me? I'm not punishing you. I'm protecting Emma, and myself, from someone who proved they can't be trusted. People make mistakes. For 4 months, In my bed? With my best friend? That's not a mistake. That's a choice. Multiple choices. Every day for months. She started crying. I loved him. And now? Do you love him now that he's in jail? Now that he won't return your calls? Silence. That's what I thought. You didn't love him. You loved the attention, the excitement, the fantasy of a different life, and you burned down our real life for it. What about forgiveness? You used to believe in that. I believe in forgiveness for people who are actually sorry, who own their choices, who don't try to manipulate their daughter into advocating for them. Her face flushed. I don't know what you mean. Telling Emma I might be the new baby's daddy? Really? I just thought, no, you didn't think. That's the problem. Go home, Michelle, or wherever you're staying. This is Emma's day. Don't ruin it. She left, shoulders shaking with sobs. I felt nothing. The woman I'd loved was gone. This was just someone wearing her face. The party continued, Emma oblivious to the drama. We sang Happy Birthday, she blew out 6 candles, 1 for good luck, and tore through presents with gleeful abandon. Daddy, look! She held up a butterfly net for my parents. Now we can catch them for our garden. We don't catch them, princess. We attract them. Butterflies come when they're ready. Like happiness? She asked, wise beyond her years. Exactly like happiness. That evening, after guests had gone and Emma crashed from her sugar high, I sat with my family on the porch. Saw Michelle at the fence, Dad said quietly. Yeah, you handled it well. Did I? Sometimes I wonder if I'm being too harsh. She made her choices, Mom said. Now she lives with them. You're protecting Emma, not being harsh. Karen called earlier, Mike added. Jake's parents are petitioning for grandparent rights to her kids, claiming he's unfit. Jesus, when does it end? When everyone finds their new normal, Dad said. Takes time. You're only 2 months out from discovery, still fresh. 2 months. Felt like 2 years or 2 minutes. Time moved strangely in crisis. Sunday was quiet. Emma played with her birthday gifts while I caught up on household tasks. Normal, domestic life. Almost peaceful. Then Michelle's sister called. Marcus, it's Linda. I'm sorry to bother you, but Michelle's in the hospital. My stomach dropped. What happened? Complications with the pregnancy. She's been under stress and they're talking about bed rest, possibly early delivery. I'm sorry to hear that. Look, I know what she did was wrong, horrible, but she's still Emma's mother, and she's alone. Jake's in jail, won't even add her to his visitor list. She has nobody. She has you. I work full time. I can't. Marcus, I'm not asking you to forgive her, but maybe Emma could visit her in the hospital? It might help. I thought about it. Emma would want to know if her mother was sick. But taking her to see Michelle vulnerable might confuse things. I'll think about it. That's all I ask. For what it's worth, she knows she destroyed everything. The guilt is eating her alive. Good, I thought, but didn't say. After we hung up, I called Dr. Chen's emergency line. Needed guidance on this. It's complicated, she said after I explained. Emma has a right to know her mother's sick, but you have a right to protect boundaries, maybe a phone call instead of a visit. Reasonable. I could manage a phone call. That evening, I told Emma carefully. Mommy's not feeling well. The baby's making her sick. Would you like to call her? Is she okay? The doctors are taking care of her. Can we visit? Not right now, but we can call. Emma nodded, accepting this with childhood adaptability. We called on speaker. I wasn't leaving them unsupervised even on phone. Hi, Mommy, Emma said cheerfully. I heard you're sick. Hi, baby. Michelle's voice was weak. I'm okay, just tired. How was your party? So fun. We had butterfly cake and games, and I got presents. They talked for a few minutes about innocent things. Michelle kept it together, didn't guilt trip or manipulate. Progress. I love you, Emma, she said finally. Love you too, Mommy. Feel better. After we hung up, Emma went back to playing, seemingly unaffected. Kids' resilience amazed me. Monday brought new challenges. Work wanted me back. I'd burned through my leave. But Emma needed stability. We can help, Mom offered. Pick her up from school, watch her until you're home. Village, remember? The village that helped raise children when families fractured. My first day back was strange. Everyone knew. Whispered conversations stopped when I passed. Sympathetic looks from those who'd been through similar. Anger from those who knew Jake. Rivers, my CO called me in. Good to have you back. How are you holding up? Managing, sir. Your daughter? She's resilient. We're adapting. Good. I want you to know what Coleman did. That's not who we are. Not what we stand for. You need anything, you ask. Thank you, sir. Also, there's been an incident. Coleman's parents visited him in the brig. His father apparently had choice words about the situation. MPs had to intervene. Even Jake's family was fracturing under the weight of his choices. That night, Emma and I established our new routine. Homework at the kitchen table, dinner together, bath time, stories, normal rhythms for an abnormal situation. Daddy? She asked during her bedtime story. Will the baby be my brother or sister? Christ, how to explain this? The baby is Mommy's baby, I said carefully, but not mine. Oh, she processed this. Like how Lily has a half-sister? Something like that? Will I meet the baby? We'll see when the time comes. Okay. She snuggled deeper into her covers. I'm glad I have you, Daddy. Me too, Princess. Me too. Tuesday's therapy session focused on the hospital situation. You showed grace, Dr. Chen observed. Letting Emma call. How did that feel? Like swallowing glass. But it was the right thing for Emma. And that's your North Star now. What's best for Emma? Even when it hurts? Especially then. Children learn from what we do, not what we say. You're teaching her that even when someone hurts us, we can still show compassion. Without being doormats. Exactly. Boundaries with humanity. It's a difficult balance. Wednesday brought a letter from Jake. Actual paper mail from the brig. Mark, I know I have no right to write. No right to anything. But I need you to know, I'm sorry. Not sorry I got caught. Sorry I betrayed 20 years of brotherhood for 4 months of fantasy. Michelle was a mistake. The biggest of my life. I threw away everything real for something that was never going to last. Karen, my kids, you, Emma, all for what? A woman who won't even write me now. I don't expect forgiveness. I don't deserve it. Just wanted you to know that I know what I lost. What I threw away. You were my brother, and I stabbed you in the back. Take care of Emma. Be the father I'll never get to be to my own kids now. Jake, I read it twice, then burned it. No response needed. Some bridges, once burned, stayed ash. Thursday, Linda called again. Michelle was on strict bed rest, early labor risk. She's scared, Linda said. Alone. I know she doesn't deserve sympathy, but... You're right. She doesn't. You're really going to let Emma's mother go through this alone? I'm not letting her do anything. She chose this. Every step. What happened to the Marcus who had compassion? He came home to his pregnant wife and his best friend's toothbrush in his bathroom. So that's it? No forgiveness? Ever? Forgiveness isn't owed. It's earned. And it doesn't mean reconciliation. I can forgive her someday, maybe for my own peace. But she'll never be my wife again. Never be trusted again. That's dead. You're a hard man. No, I'm a realistic one. Some things can't be undone. Friday, Emma's teacher called. Concerns about her drawings. Lots of broken families, separated figures. She's processing, the teacher said kindly. But I wanted you aware. Maybe talk to her? That night, I looked through Emma's recent artwork. The teacher was right. Divided papers, figures on opposite sides. But also, butterflies. Always butterflies, flying between the separated groups. Tell me about these, I said, sitting with her. That's us, she pointed. And that's Mommy. We're in different gardens now, but the butterflies visit both. How do you feel about that? Sad sometimes, but you said it's not my fault. It's absolutely not your fault. And we're still a family? Just different? We're still a family. Always. She smiled, reassured, and went back to drawing. This time, the figures were closer together. Still separated, but the butterflies made a bridge. Progress. Slow, painful, but progress. Chapter 7. New Foundation's October arrived with cooler weather and the final divorce hearing. Tom prepped me thoroughly, but I still dreaded seeing Michelle in court again. It's straightforward, he assured me. Adultery proven, custody settled, assets divided per the prenup, 20 minutes max. But 20 minutes can feel like 20 years when you're ending a marriage. Michelle looked terrible. 7 months pregnant now, pale, thin everywhere except her belly. Bed rest had taken its toll. Her attorney helped her to her seat. All rise for Judge Martin, the same judge who'd granted me emergency custody. He reviewed the paperwork with efficient precision. Mrs. Rivers, you're not contesting the grounds for divorce? No, Your Honor, Michelle whispered. And you understand the custody arrangement? Supervised visitation only? Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Rivers, is the current arrangement working for your daughter? Yes, Your Honor. Emma sees her mother 2 hours weekly at the Family Services Center. Any issues? No, sir. We're maintaining civility for Emma's sake. Judge Martin nodded. Given the clear grounds for dissolution and agreement on all terms, I'm granting the divorce effective immediately. Mrs. Rivers, you'll revert to your maiden name. Mr. Rivers retains all premarital assets per the prenuptial agreement. Custody remains as ordered. Full physical and legal to Mr. Rivers. Supervised visitation to Miss Mitchell. He looked at Michelle with something like pity. Ma'am, you're young. You made terrible choices, but you have a chance to rebuild. For your children's sake, both of them, I hope you do. The gavel fell. 7 years of marriage ended in 20 minutes. Outside the courthouse, Michelle approached. Marcus, no, we're done. Everything goes through lawyers now except Emma's visitations. I just wanted to say I'm sorry, and thank you for letting me see her. You could have pushed for no contact. I didn't do it for you. Emma needs to know her mother, even if that mother broke our family. Will you ever forgive me? Maybe, someday, for my own peace. But forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting, doesn't mean trusting, doesn't mean taking you back. I know. She touched her belly. I've lost everything for this. Jake won't even see me. His wife is taking him back if he completes counseling. And I'm alone. Choices have consequences. I know that now. I left her there, no longer my responsibility. The papers in my hand said I was officially single, free. It didn't feel like freedom, it felt like amputation. That evening, Emma noticed my mood. Daddy, are you sad? A little, princess. Today, Mommy and I officially aren't married anymore. Oh. She considered this. Does that mean you can marry someone nice now? Not ready for that yet. Okay, but when you are, I think you should marry someone who likes butterflies. Her simple wisdom made me laugh. I'll keep that in mind. Saturday brought a surprise. Karen Coleman at my door, without the kids. I'm sorry to drop by, she said. I wanted to thank you for telling me the truth. You deserve to know. Jake's been writing me from jail, begging for another chance. Says Michelle meant nothing, that it was temporary insanity. Are you considering it? I was. Then I remembered. He made the same choice every day for months. That's not temporary anything. That's who he is. I'm sorry. Me too. But we'll be okay. Both of us. Without them. We talked for an hour. 2 betrayed spouses finding solidarity. She was stronger than I'd expected, focused on her boys and moving forward. The baby, Jake's or not, is legally his responsibility, she said. My attorney made sure of that. Let Michelle deal with him for 18 years of child support battles. After she left, I felt marginally better. I wasn't alone in this particular hell. The next week, Work sent me TDY to Quantico for training. Mom stayed with Emma, maintaining routines. The distance helped. Different scenery, different faces, no memories lurking in every corner. But Emma called every night, and one call shattered my improving mood. "Daddy, Mommy had the baby." I gripped the phone. "She did?" "Aunt Linda told me at school. It's a boy. He came early 'cause Mommy was sick. Jake's son. Born while Jake sat in the brig." "How do you feel about that, Princess?" "I don't know. Is he my brother?" "He's your half-brother. You share a mom. But not a dad." "Right. That's confusing." "I know, baby. Sometimes adult stuff is confusing." "Will I meet him?" "We'll figure that out later, okay? Right now, just focus on school and being six." "Okay. I love you, Daddy." "Love you too, Princess." After we hung up, I called Linda for details. Emergency C-section. Baby was small but healthy. Michelle was recovering. "She named him James," Linda said. "That's Jake's middle name." "I know, she's hoping." "Well, she's hoping it matters to him." "Has he responded?" "No. Karen won't let him have any contact with Michelle. Smart woman." I agreed. Clean breaks were better than messy entanglements. When I returned from Quantico, Emma had questions about the baby. We navigated them carefully during our next therapy session. I'd started bringing her monthly to help her process. "It's okay to have mixed feelings," the child psychologist explained. "You can be curious about the baby while still being upset about what happened." "I'm not upset," Emma said. "Just confused. Why did Mommy have a baby with Uncle Jake instead of Daddy?" "Sometimes adults make choices that don't make sense," the therapist said. "What matters is that both your parents love you." "I know. Daddy tells me all the time. And Mommy says it when I visit." Progress. Halloween came, and with it, decisions about holiday schedules. The custody agreement gave me all major holidays the first year, but I wanted to be fair. "She can have an extra hour on her Saturday before Halloween," I told Tom. "Let her see Emma in costume." "You're being generous." "I'm being practical. Emma will want to show off her butterfly fairy costume." And she did. Michelle cried seeing her, but kept it together. Even took photos with her phone, small normalcies in our new reality. "You're a beautiful butterfly," Michelle told her. "I'm flying to the light," Emma announced, spreading her wings. Michelle looked at me over Emma's head. Something passed between us, not forgiveness, not reconciliation, but acknowledgement. We'd made this perfect little girl together, even if we'd destroyed everything else. November brought Jake's release from the brig. 90 days served. He went straight to Karen's mother's house, where she'd reluctantly agreed to let him see his boys under supervision. "He looked broken," Karen told me during one of our occasional calls, "like a stranger wearing Jake's face." I knew the feeling. The people we'd trusted were gone, replaced by strangers who destroyed our lives. Is counseling helping? Maybe he cries a lot. Talks about losing you as much as losing me. 20 years of friendship. He didn't lose it. He threw it away. I told him that. He said he knows. Said the 4 months with Michelle feel like a fever dream now. Can't believe he destroyed everything for someone who won't even speak to him. Poetic justice. Thanksgiving approached, Emma's first since the divorce. I went overboard again, cooking a massive meal for my extended family. Anything to make it special, to create new traditions. "Daddy, why are you making so much food?" Emma asked, watching me prep the turkey. "Because we have a lot to be thankful for." "Like what?" "You, Grandma and Grandpa, Uncle Mike, our house, our butterfly garden." "What about Mommy?" "I'm thankful Mommy gave me you." "That's nice. I'll tell her on Saturday." And she did. Michelle's grateful tears were visible, even from across the visitation room. December brought new challenges. Michelle, recovered from delivery, started pushing boundaries, requesting extra time, asking to attend Emma's school Christmas program, trying to rebuild what she destroyed. "No," I told Tom. "The agreement is clear. Supervised visitation only." She's hired a new attorney. making noise about the arrangement being punitive. It's protective. She exposed Emma to an affair. Had another man playing father. The court agreed. I know. Just warning you. She's going to fight. Let her. I had truth on my side. The school program came and went. Emma sang beautifully, searched the audience for both parents, found only me. I recorded it for Michelle to watch during visitation. Small mercies. Why couldn't Mommy come? Emma asked after. The judge said Mommy needs more time to show she makes good choices. When will she be done with time out? I don't know, Princess, but you'll still see her every Saturday. Okay, did you see me sing the high note? I did. You were perfect. And she was. Despite everything, Emma was thriving, resilient, adapting. 2 weeks before Christmas, Jake appeared at my door. Out of the brig, divorce from Karen pending, supervised visits with his boys. He looked gaunt, hollow, aged a decade in 6 months. I know I'm not welcome, he started. Then why are you here? To apologize, properly, face to face. You did that, in court, in letters, it doesn't change anything. I know, Marcus, I've lost everything. My wife, my kids, my career, you? For what? For a woman who used me and dropped me the second I became inconvenient. You figured that out too late. I know. God, I know. 20 years, Mark. Doesn't that count for anything? It counted for everything. That's why the betrayal cut so deep. You knew me better than anyone. Knew what deployment meant. Knew how much I loved my family. And you took advantage of that. I fell in love. No, you fell in lust. Love doesn't destroy families. Love doesn't betray brothers. You wanted what was mine and took it. And now? Now you're nothing to me. Not an enemy. Not a friend. Nothing. That's worse than hate, Jake. It's indifference. He broke down. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I know. But sorry doesn't rebuild trust. Doesn't undo pregnancy. Doesn't erase Emma calling you uncle while you played daddy. Some things can't be fixed. So that's it? 20 years gone? You killed it. Not me. Every thrust, every lie, every morning you woke up in my bed and chose to continue. You murdered our friendship for 4 months of playing house. I shut the door on him, on us, on everything we'd been. That night, Emma found me on the porch, staring at the stars. Daddy? Why are you out here? Just thinking, Princess. About what? About how things change, how people change. Like caterpillars? Yes, but sometimes people change into moths instead of butterflies. What's the difference? Butterflies fly to the light. Moths fly to flames and get burned. She cuddled against me. I'm glad you're a butterfly, Daddy. From the mouths of babes. Christmas morning arrived with Emma's delighted squeals. She tore through presents, played with new toys, helped make breakfast. Normal, happy, whole. Can we call Mommy? She asked after. Of course. Michelle answered on the first ring. They talked briefly, Emma describing her gifts. Then, Mommy, I hope you have a good Christmas too, even if you made bad choices. Brutal honesty from a 6-year-old. Thank you, baby, Michelle's voice cracked. I love you. Love you too. Here's Daddy. I took the phone reluctantly. Merry Christmas, Michelle. Thank you for letting her call. I know you didn't have to. She wanted to. That matters more than what I want. Marcus, I know you'll never forgive me. But I need you to know, losing you was the biggest mistake of my life. Bigger than Jake. Bigger than anything. It wasn't one mistake. It was thousands of choices. I know. I think about it every day. What I had. What I threw away. For nothing. Not nothing. You have a son now. Jake's son, who'll grow up without a father because I destroyed 2 families. That's on both of you. I know. Merry Christmas, Marcus. Hug Emma for me. I hung up feeling oddly empty. No satisfaction in her misery. No joy in her regret. Just nothing. Chapter 8. Moving Forward. January brought resolutions and new beginnings. I didn't make grand promises, just small commitments. Be present for Emma. Continue therapy. Maybe, eventually, consider dating again. You should try online dating, Mike suggested during a beer run. Lots of single parents out there who understand complicated situations. Not ready. When will you be? When I can think about trusting someone without feeling sick. Fair enough. Emma started first grade after winter break. New teacher, new challenges, new milestones. She adapted quickly, making friends, excelling academically. The upheaval hadn't broken her spirit. "Daddy, can Jessica come for a play date?" she asked one afternoon. "Sure, princess. We'll ask her mom." Normal requests, normal childhood. Despite everything, I'd protected that for her. The playdate led to conversation with Jessica's mother, Amy. Also military, also divorced, also navigating single parenthood. "It gets easier," she promised over coffee while the girls played. "The first year is hell. Then you find your rhythm." When did you know you were ready to move on? When I stopped defining myself by what happened. When I became Amy again instead of David's ex-wife. Food for thought. Michelle's attorney filed motions for increased visitation. Tom handled it, but warned me they were building a case for gradual, unsupervised visits. She's completed parenting classes, maintained stable housing, shown up for every supervised visit, he explained. Courts like to see progress. And the affair? The poor judgment? Ancient history to family court. They care about now, not then. Frustrating but predictable. The legal system focused on rehabilitation, not punishment. Dr. Chen helped me process the possibility. How do you feel about Michelle having unsupervised time with Emma? Terrified. What if she brings Jake around? What if she tells Emma lies about why we divorced? Valid concerns. Have you considered discussing boundaries directly with Michelle? We don't talk except about logistics. Maybe it's time, for Emma's sake. She was right, much as I hated it. I arranged to meet Michelle at a neutral location, a coffee shop near the visitation center. She looked better, healthier, post-pregnancy weight lost, color in her cheeks, determination in her eyes. "Thank you for meeting me," she started. "This is about Emma, nothing else." "I understand. Marcus, I want you to know I'm in therapy, individual and group. Working on understanding why I made such destructive choices." Good for you. I'm not asking for forgiveness or reconciliation. I know that ship has sailed, but I'm asking for a chance to be a real mother to Emma again. Unsupervised visits. Maybe overnights eventually. And Jake? There is no Jake. He's focused on saving his marriage to Karen. Has no interest in James beyond court-ordered support. So, you're raising his son alone. The consequences of my choices. I accept that. What about when James asks about his father? I'll tell him the truth. That his parents made selfish choices that hurt good people. That he's not to blame for adult failures. Honest, at least. If the court grants unsupervised visits, I need guarantees. No men around Emma, no overnight guests, no discussing our marriage or trying to turn her against me. Agreed. I'll put it in writing if you want. I do want. We worked out tentative agreements, pending court approval. Baby steps toward co-parenting with someone I'd never trust again. Valentine's Day was hard. First one alone in 8 years. Emma made me a card at school, for the best daddy ever, with hand-drawn butterflies. "Do you have a Valentine?" she asked over dinner. "You're my Valentine, princess." Kids can't be Valentines. You need a grown-up Valentine. Maybe someday. I think Miss Amy likes you. What makes you say that? She smiles special when she sees you, and she made you cookies. From the mouths of babes. We're just friends, Emma. For now, she said sagely. March brought the custody modification hearing. Judge Martin reviewed Michelle's progress, the guardian ad litem's report, my concerns. "Miss Mitchell, you've shown significant improvement. Therapy, stable employment, appropriate housing. The court is inclined to grant graduated, unsupervised visitation." My stomach dropped. However, he continued, given the severity of your previous judgment lapses, we'll proceed cautiously. 4 hours unsupervised every other Saturday for 3 months. If successful, we'll revisit overnight visits. Your Honor, I stood. What safeguards? Mr. Rivers, I understand your concerns. Miss Mitchell has agreed in writing to no overnight guests, no contact between the minor child and her former affair partner, and no disparagement of you. Violation of any condition results in immediate return to supervised visitation. Not what I wanted, but better than it could have been. Furthermore, Judge Martin addressed Michelle, you're on notice. The court gave you a second chance because children need their mothers. Don't make me regret it. I won't, Your Honor. Outside, Michelle approached tentatively. Thank you for not fighting harder. You could have made this uglier. Emma needs a mother. Just remember, I'm watching. One slip, one violation, and we're back to supervised visits. I know. I won't let you, or her, down again. Time would tell. The first unsupervised visit was nerve-wracking. 4 hours of not knowing where Emma was, who she was with, what she was being told. I cleaned obsessively, worked out until exhaustion, checked my phone every 5 minutes. But Emma came home happy. We went to the park and had ice cream, and Mommy let me pick the movie. That sounds fun, Princess. And baby James was there, but he just sleeps a lot. My jaw clenched. You met the baby? Yeah, he's really small. Mommy says he's my half-brother, but I don't have to love him if I don't want to. At least she wasn't forcing a relationship. April brought unexpected challenges. Jake's parents sued for grandparent rights to James. Michelle, overwhelmed, called me panicking. They say I'm an unfit mother, that I destroyed their son. They want custody. That's not my problem, Michelle. I know, but, legal stuff? What do I do? Get a lawyer. Fight. Show the court you're stable now. I can't afford a good lawyer. Should have thought of that before sleeping with their son. Harsh, but true. Every choice had ripple effects. But I did feel for baby James, innocent in adult disasters, facing custody battles before his first birthday. I wouldn't help Michelle, but I hoped the baby landed somewhere stable. May brought Emma's dance recital. She insisted both parents attend, opposite sides of the auditorium. Michelle waved. I nodded. Civil for Emma. Did you see my pirouette? Emma asked after, running between us. Perfect, we said in unison, then looked at each other awkwardly. See? Emma beamed. You can both watch me without fighting. Small victories in her world. Amy and her daughter Jessica joined us for ice cream after. Normal, easy conversation while the girls giggled over sundaes. She seems nice, Michelle observed, having stayed to say goodbye to Emma. We're friends. Good. You deserve to be happy, after everything. I didn't respond. My happiness wasn't her concern anymore. June arrived with summer plans. Emma would spend 2 weeks with my parents while I attended advanced training. The thought of being away from her that long hurt, but career advancement mattered for our future. Will you miss me? Emma asked while packing. Every second. I'll miss you too, but Grandma says we can call every night. And I'll bring you something special from California. Butterflies. Maybe butterfly books. California has different species than here. Cool. Before I left, Michelle requested a meeting. Against my better judgment, I agreed. I wanted you to know, Jake's been coming around, she said without preamble. My blood chilled. What? Not for me, for James. His parents convinced him to seek partial custody to strengthen their case. Are you kidding me? I told him no, that he made his choice when he ignored us for Karen. But he's threatening legal action. Good luck with that. No judge gives custody to a man who abandoned a child for the first year. That's what my lawyer says. But Marcus, I'm scared. What if Emma sees him during a visit? Then you lose unsupervised visits. Permanently. That was our agreement. I know, I wanted you aware. In case he tries anything. Like what? I don't know. He's desperate. Karen took him back but won't let him forget. His parents hate him. You hate him. He's fixating on James as his second chance. Still not my problem. I know. I just thought you should know. I left for California uneasy. Jake inserting himself back into the situation felt dangerous. But I had to trust the legal system and Michelle's self-preservation instincts to keep him away from Emma. Training was intensive, consuming. Good distraction from personal drama. But nights were hard. Empty hotel room, too much thinking time. Amy texted occasionally. Funny memes, updates on Jessica, casual check-ins that felt like more. Was I ready for more? You're allowed to move forward, Dr. Chen said during a phone session. Dating doesn't betray Emma or dishonor what you've been through. It feels like inviting more potential pain. Or potential joy. Not everyone is Michelle. How do I know? You don't. That's what trust is. Faith despite uncertainty. The same thing Dad had said months ago. Maybe it was time to listen. I called Amy that night. When I get back, would you like to have dinner? Just us? I thought you'd never ask. One step forward. Emma called every night, full of stories about Grandma's spoiling and Papa's fishing lessons. Normal grandchild things. No mention of Michelle or visits. Peace. Until Mike called. We have a problem. Jake showed up at Michelle's during Emma's visit. What? Michelle called me panicking. She sent Emma to her room, but he was demanding to see James, making a scene. Where is he now? Gone. Michelle threatened to call the cops, but Marcus, Emma saw him, asked why Uncle Jake was there. Rage flooded me. That's it. Visits are done. Already called Tom. He's filing emergency motions. I wanted to fly home immediately, but Tom counseled patience. Finish training? We'll handle this. Document everything. The court will side with you. The longest week of my life. When I finally got home, Emma ran into my arms. Daddy, I missed you so much. Missed you too, Princess. How was Grandma's? Fun. But something weird happened at Mommy's. Oh? Uncle Jake came by? He looked sad. Mommy made me go to my room. How did that make you feel? Confused. I thought Uncle Jake was in trouble for hurting you. He is. That's why he's not supposed to be around. Oh, should I tell the judge? My heart broke. 6 years old and already understanding legal proceedings. If the judge asks, you tell the truth, always. Okay. Can we see the butterfly books now? Resilient. Amazing. Despite the adults' failures around her. The emergency hearing was scheduled for the following week. Michelle showed up looking defeated. I didn't invite him, she told me before proceedings. He just showed up. I made him leave immediately. But Emma saw him. For 30 seconds, I protected her. You should never have been in that position. This is why supervised visits existed. Judge Martin was not pleased. Miss Mitchell, you were explicitly ordered no contact between the child and Mr. Coleman. Your Honor, he showed up uninvited. I removed my daughter immediately and made him leave. Did you call the police? No, Your Honor. I didn't want to escalate. You didn't want a record, I interrupted. Because you're still protecting him. That's not true. Judge Martin held up a hand. Enough. Miss Mitchell, you've violated the terms of unsupervised visitation. We're returning to supervised visits effective immediately. Michelle sobbed. Your Honor, please? You had one job. Keep that man away from your daughter. You failed. Supervised visits, Saturdays, 2 hours. Reevaluation in 6 months. Victory, but it felt hollow. Emma would be confused by the change. Again. Outside, Michelle confronted me. Happy now? You got what you wanted. I wanted you to honor our agreement. Keep Jake away from Emma. Simple. I tried. Not hard enough. You could have called the cops, got a restraining order. Instead, you protected him. Still. After everything. That's not... I just didn't want drama. No. You still have feelings for him. After he destroyed our family, chose Karen, abandoned you and James, you still protect him. She didn't deny it. Couldn't. That's why you'll never have my trust. Why supervision is necessary. Because even now, after losing everything, you'd choose him over Emma's safety. I wouldn't. You just did. I walked away, done with the conversation, done with her excuses. That night, I explained the change to Emma. Visits with Mommy will be at the center again. Why? Because Uncle Jake came to Mommy's house and that's against the rules. Oh. Is Mommy in trouble? She made a mistake. But you're not in trouble. This isn't your fault. I know. You always say that. Because it's always true. She accepted it with her usual adaptability. But I worried about the long-term effects of this instability. Maybe we should consider moving, Mom suggested. Fresh start, away from all this drama. I can't. My job, Emma's school. Just think about it. Sometimes geography helps. Maybe she was right. But running felt like letting them win. July brought my first real date with Amy. Dinner at a nice restaurant, adult conversation. Laughter that felt foreign after months of heaviness. I'm out of practice, I admitted over wine. Me too, but this is nice. No pressure, I'm not ready for Marcus, she smiled. I'm a single mom too. I get it. Slow is good. Emma likes you. Jessica adores Emma and you. So maybe we could do this again. I'd like that. Small steps towards something new. Chapter 9. Finding balance. August marked 1 year since everything exploded. I stood in my backyard, watching Emma chase butterflies with a net, laughing in the summer heat. Daddy, I almost caught one. Remember, we don't keep them, Princess. We just visit. I know, but they're so pretty up close. A year of survival. Therapy, legal battles, single parenthood. We'd made it through the worst. Proud of you, Dad said, joining me on the porch. Year ago, I wasn't sure you'd make it. Some days, neither was I. But look at you now. Dating Amy, Emma thriving, career advancing. You rebuilt. Still building. That's life, always building. Michelle's supervised visits had become routine again. She'd grown resigned to the limitations, stopped pushing for more. Even Jake had faded back into obscurity after the court slapped him with a restraining order. Any word on his custody fight? Dad asked. Karen says his parents dropped it. Apparently having an affair baby while married isn't a good look for grandparent rights. And Karen? Taking him back was a mistake. She filed for divorce again last month, this time for good. Some lessons have to be learned twice. Emma ran over, butterfly net dragging. Daddy, can Amy and Jessica come for dinner? Would you like that? Yes, Jessica wants to see our butterfly garden. Then I'll ask them. She beamed and ran off again. Accepting Amy's presence had been easy for her. A friend's mom who made Daddy smile. Simple in her child's world. That evening, as Amy helped with dishes while the girls played, domesticity felt possible again. Not the same as before. Scarred, cautious, but possible. This is nice, Amy said, drying a plate. It is. No pressure, just nice. Emma asked if you're my girlfriend. What did you tell her? That you're a special friend. For now. For now, she agreed, smiling. Later, after they'd gone, Emma curled beside me on the couch. Daddy, are you happy? The question she'd asked so many times this year. You know what? I think I am, or getting there. Good. You deserve to be happy. So do you, Princess. I am happy. I have you, and Grandma, and Papa, and Uncle Mike, and my friends, and our butterflies. What about Mommy? She thought carefully. I love Mommy, but it's different now, like how butterflies visit flowers but don't live there. That's a good way to think about it. Miss Johnson says families come in all shapes. Ours is just shaped different now. Miss Johnson is smart. Yeah, but not as smart as you. I held her close, grateful beyond words for this resilient little soul. September brought new challenges. Michelle lost her job, the economic downturn hitting hard. Her attorney filed for child support modification. She can't pay if she's unemployed, Tom explained. Court will likely reduce it temporarily. And James, how's she supporting him? Government assistance, probably. Not our concern. But it felt like my concern, tangentially. Emma's half-brother struggling because his parents made selfish choices. The ripple effects continuing. Maybe I should, I started. No, Tom cut me off. Do not offer financial help. Do not insert yourself into her situation. Boundaries, Marcus. He was right. But watching Emma's mother spiral again felt ominous. October arrived with Emma's 7th birthday approaching. She wanted another butterfly party, this time with both parents present. I know you and Mommy can't be friends, she said carefully. But can you both come? Not together, but there? Let me think about it, Princess. I discussed it with Dr. Chen. She's asking for both parents at her birthday. It feels like a test. Of what? Of whether we can coexist. Be civil. Show her that despite everything, she's loved by both parents. And can you? I don't know. Supervised visits are one thing. My home, my territory, with her there. What's the worst that could happen? She brings drama, makes it about her, ruins Emma's day. And the best? Emma sees her parents cooperating, feels less divided. Which outcome seems more likely based on recent behavior? Michelle had been subdued lately, compliant. Maybe I'll consider it. Amy offered perspective. You don't have to be friends, just civil for 2 hours. I'll be there for support if you want. You'd do that? Marcus, I care about you. Both of you. This is your life. I'm not threatened by your past. You're amazing. I know, she grinned. So, party planning? We kept it simple. Backyard party, close friends, butterfly theme. I sent Michelle an invitation through the visitation supervisor. Her response was immediate. Thank you, I'll be there. No drama, I promise. The day arrived crisp and clear. Emma bounced with excitement, her butterfly wings from last year still fitting. Is everyone coming? She asked repeatedly. Everyone you invited. Even Mommy. Even Mommy. Michelle arrived precisely on time, carrying a wrapped gift and looking nervous. She'd dressed conservatively, no makeup beyond basics, trying not to draw attention. Hi, she said quietly. Michelle, Emma's in the backyard. Marcus, I thank you for this. I know you didn't have to. It's for Emma. I know. Still. Emma spotted her and ran over. Mommy, you came. Of course, baby, it's your birthday. The party proceeded smoothly. Michelle stayed on the periphery, taking photos, helping with activities when asked. No drama, no attempts at conversation beyond necessity. Amy arrived with Jessica, seamlessly integrating into the host role. If Michelle noticed, she said nothing. Daddy, can we do the cake now? Emma asked, tugging my hand. Sure, Princess. We gathered everyone, sang happy birthday. Emma blew out 7 candles plus 1 for luck, wish held tight. What did you wish for? Jessica asked. Can't tell or it won't come true. As the party wound down, Michelle approached with Emma. Daddy, Mommy wants to say something. Thank you, Michelle said simply, for letting me be here, for giving Emma normalcy despite everything. You're her mother. She needed you here. I know I broke us, but I'm trying not to break her. Keep trying. She left shortly after, Emma waving goodbye without tears. Progress. That went well, Amy observed, helping clean up. Better than expected. You did good, both of you. Emma needed that. What did I do to deserve you? Got lucky, I guess, she smiled, kissing my cheek. November brought unexpected news. Jake and Karen's divorce finalized. He'd moved out of state, starting over where nobody knew his shame. Good riddance, Mike said over beers. though I'm surprised he abandoned his kids. Court ordered support but no visitation. Karen made it a condition of not pursuing criminal charges for some financial stuff she discovered. Jesus, he just keeps digging deeper. Michelle know? Probably. She's been quiet about him lately. Think reality finally hit. He was never leaving Karen for her. Expensive lesson. 20-year friendship. 2 marriages. Multiple kids affected. Yeah, expensive doesn't cover it. Emma hadn't asked about Jake in months. Out of sight, out of mind for children. A mercy. Thanksgiving came with new traditions. Amy and Jessica joined us at my parents'. Natural, easy, like they'd always belonged. This is nice, Mom whispered, watching Amy help Emma with crafts. Don't jinx it. I'm just saying, you deserve happiness. Both of you. We're taking it slow. Smart. But don't wait too long. Good ones don't stay single forever. Michelle called that evening, asking to talk to Emma. They chatted briefly about turkey and pie. Normal holiday stuff. She sounds sad, Emma said after. Holidays can be hard for people. Because she's alone? She has baby James, and your Aunt Linda. But not a whole family like us. Families look different for everyone, remember? Yeah. I'm glad ours has Amy and Jessica now. Me too, Princess. December brought the 1-year anniversary of the divorce. I expected to feel something. Sadness, anger, regret. Instead, just peace. We'd survived, rebuilt, found new happiness. You've come far, Dr. Chen observed during what would be our last regular session. Couldn't have done it without help. You did the work. I just guided. Ready to fly solo? I think so. Doors always open if I need it? Always. Christmas approached with careful coordination. Michelle would have Emma Christmas Eve afternoon, supervised at the center. I'd have the rest. Can we get presents for baby James? Emma asked while shopping. That's thoughtful. What did you have in mind? Clothes? Mommy says he grows fast. We picked out practical items. Emma insisted on butterfly onesies. Some patterns transcended everything. The supervised Christmas visit went smoothly. Emma gave Michelle and James their gifts, received her own. The supervisor reported no issues. She seems to have accepted the situation, Tom told me. No more legal challenges planned? Good. Stability is all I want. You've got it. For now. Always for now with Michelle. But I'd take what I could get. Christmas morning brought pure joy. Emma's delight at presents, Amy and Jessica joining for breakfast, my parents doting on their granddaughter. Family, redefined but whole. Best Christmas ever, Emma declared, surrounded by wrapping paper. Why's that, Princess? Because everyone's happy. You're happy. I'm happy. Even Mommy sounded happy on the phone. That's all I want, for you to be happy. Mission accomplished, she giggled, borrowing my military speak. That evening, after the girls were asleep, Jessica stayed for a sleepover. Amy and I sat by the fire. Thank you, I said, for everything. This year would have been harder without you. You'd have managed. You're stronger than you think. Maybe, but I'm glad I didn't have to find out. Me too. She leaned against me. Marcus, I love you. First time she'd said it. My heart, scarred but healing, responded. I love you too. No pressure, no rush. Just wanted you to know. I'm glad you did. We sat in comfortable silence, fire crackling, future uncertain but promising. A year ago, I thought my life was over. Now, different but not destroyed. Better in some ways. Emma appeared in the doorway, rubbing sleepy eyes. Daddy? Amy? Can I join you? Always, Princess. She climbed between us, content. My girls, I thought, then caught myself. Too soon? Maybe. But the heart wants what it wants. Daddy? Emma said drowsily. I think my birthday wish came true. What was it? For everyone to be happy. And we are, right? I looked at Amy, at my daughter, at the life we'd built from ruins. Yeah, Princess, we are. Epilogue. 5 years later, I stood in my dress blues again, but this time for celebration. Amy walked down the aisle, radiant in white epilogue. 5 years later, I stood in my dress blues again, but this time for celebration. Amy walked down the aisle, radiant in white, Jessica preceding her as junior bridesmaid. Emma, now 12 and all legs and attitude, stood as my best girl. "You sure about this, Dad?" she'd asked that morning, helping me with my ribbons. "Never been more sure of anything. You okay with it?" "Amy's been Mom 2.0 for years now. About time you made it official." Mom 2.0. Her term for the complicated dynamics of our blended family. The ceremony was small. Family, close friends, military brothers. Michelle wasn't invited, obviously, but she'd sent a card through Emma. "Congratulations. Be happy." Simple. Appropriate. 5 years had taught us all boundaries. As Amy reached me, tears threatened. Second chances. I'd never thought I'd get one. "You look beautiful," I whispered. "You clean up pretty well yourself, Marine." Judge Martin officiated. He'd seen us through the worst and wanted to witness the best. His voice carried weight as he spoke about resilience, forgiveness, and new beginnings. "Do you, Marcus, take Amy?" I did. Wholeheartedly. No reservations. The scared, angry man from 5 years ago had evolved. Therapy, time, and love had worked their magic. Emma handed over the rings with a grin. "Don't drop them, Dad. That would be embarrassing." Preteen sass, but her eyes were misty too. We exchanged vows we'd written ourselves. Amy promised to love not just me, but the complicated history I carried. I promised to trust again, fully, despite the scars. "I now pronounce you husband and wife." The kiss felt like a beginning. Not my first marriage, but my last. The one that would stick. At the reception, Emma gave a speech that brought down the house. 5 years ago, my dad was really sad. Like, super sad. My parents got divorced because, well, adult stuff. But then Amy came along and made him smile again. And she didn't try to replace my mom. She just became extra family. So now I have Mom, Dad, Amy, and Jessica. Plus a little brother who visits sometimes. It's complicated, but it works. So here's to complicated families that work. Everyone raised glasses, laughing through tears. My girl had a way with words. Michelle had Emma every other weekend now, unsupervised but still with strict boundaries. She'd stabilized over the years. Steady job, small apartment, no men in the picture. James, now 5, sometimes joined their visits. Emma treated him like a cousin more than a brother, but that was okay. Their relationship would be what it would be. Jake had vanished entirely. Last anyone heard, he was in Texas, remarried to someone who didn't know his history. His parents maintained relationships with both sets of kids, trying to bridge the damage their son had caused. Karen had remarried too, a solid guy who adopted Jake's boys and gave them the father they deserved. "Daddy!" Emma appeared at my elbow during the father-daughter dance. Our turn. I'd already danced with Amy, now Emma claimed her moment. She'd grown so much, beautiful, confident, resilient despite everything. "You happy, princess?" "So happy. Amy makes you laugh. That's important." "What about you? You happy with all this?" "Dad, I've been calling her Mom 2.0 for 3 years. I was ready before you were." "When did you get so wise?" "Therapy helps," she grinned. "Dr. Chen says I'm remarkably well adjusted for a kid with my history. We'd kept her in therapy preventatively. Better to process than repress." "Any word from Mom?" I asked carefully. We could discuss Michelle now without tension. She texted earlier, said she's happy for you, for us. "You believe her?" "Yeah. I think she finally figured out that loving someone means wanting them happy, even if it's not with you." 12 years old and understanding what adults struggled with. She doing okay? I found myself genuinely curious, not bitter. Same as always. Working, taking care of James, trying to date but not really trusting anyone. the lasting damage of her choices. But that wasn't my burden anymore. Mike cut in for the next dance, giving Emma a break. Proud of you, brother. For what? For not letting them win. Jake and Michelle, they tried to destroy you. Instead, you built something better. We all did. Village, remember? Yeah, but you led the charge. Showed Emma that betrayal doesn't have to define you. My parents were dancing nearby, Mom wiping happy tears. They'd been my rock through everything. Dad caught my eye, raised his beer in salute. Marine to Marine, survivor to survivor. Later, as Amy and I cut the cake, Emma and Jessica flanked us, our reconstituted family complete. Speech, someone called. I looked around the room, at people who'd witnessed my lowest and stuck around for my highest. 5 years ago, I thought my life was over. Came home from deployment to betrayal, divorce, single parenthood. Thought I'd never trust again. Never love again. Then this amazing woman showed up with her equally amazing daughter and proved me wrong. Amy, you didn't just give me love. You gave me hope. Proof that some people keep their promises. That second chances exist. That butterflies really do fly to the light. Emma groaned at the butterfly reference. She was too cool for them now, but smiled anyway. To complicated families that work, I raised my glass, echoing Emma's earlier toast. To second chances, to love after loss. To Amy, who made me believe again. The room erupted in cheers. Amy kissed me, tasting like champagne and promises kept. I love you, she whispered. I love you too. All of you. Our whole complicated, beautiful family. As the reception continued, I stepped outside for air. 5 years, from destruction to reconstruction, from rage to peace, from isolation to love. My phone buzzed. Text from an unknown number. Congratulations, Mark. Be happy. You deserve it. Jake? I stared at it, waiting for anger that didn't come. Just pity. He was still out there, running from his choices. While I'd stayed, faced mine, and rebuilt. I deleted the text and went back inside to my wife, my daughters, my life. The war was over. I'd won by refusing to let it define me, by choosing love over bitterness, by showing Emma that betrayal didn't have to be inherited. There you are, Amy found me. You okay? Perfect. Just thinking about how far we've come. No looking back on wedding days, only forward. Yes, ma'am. Good Marine. She straightened my ribbons. Now come dance with your wife. Wife. The word felt right this time. Earned, not assumed. Built on truth, not fantasy. As we danced, Emma and Jessica joined us, our little unit complete. Complicated? Yes. Unconventional? Definitely. But ours, built from ruins into something stronger than what came before. The butterfly garden at home still bloomed every spring. Emma might be too old to chase them now, but sometimes I caught her watching them from her window, remembering perhaps when they represented transformation, hope, the possibility of beauty after darkness. What are you thinking about? Amy asked. Butterflies, I admitted. Of course you are. But she smiled, understanding. Still flying to the light? Always. And we were, all of us, flying toward the light we'd found in each other, leaving the darkness behind where it belonged. Not forgotten, some lessons are too important to forget, but powerless over our present. Our future. The music played on. We danced, celebrated, lived. A Marine, his wife, their daughters. A family forged in fire but defined by love. Mission complete. New mission beginning. Semper Fi to the life we'd built from ashes. Semper Fi to second chances. Semper Fi to love that endures, trust that rebuilds, and butterflies that always find the light. The end.